Hi guys. So in this pick a card, what we're going to do is we're going to make it a bit more topical, and we're going to do it quite specifically to do with the coronavirus. And what do your spirit guides most want you to know right now to do with this coronavirus? Because obviously it's having a global impact, and it's categorically something that as souls we're all kind of working with for sure. So I thought we kind of get that perspective of what your spirit guides want to tell you, because obviously being psychic, my spirit guides have told me loads about it, and I'm sure there's some unique messages that we can pull through for you guys too. Now I also did a video recently with the psychic witch, which I'll leave a link to, which is where obviously we talk about the coronavirus from the psychic perspective, so you might also find that useful too. And let's just see what happens, right? Because who knows, whenever you do a pick a card, and I love bringing in spirit guides because they just give the most awesome insights that quite often you don't even think about. So let's see what happens there. I'm going to choose 5 piles. I wouldn't usually do this many, but my spirit guides were like, no, you need to do 5. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 5. But before that, I basically did this thing of shuffling my phone and seeing what is the song that we can kind of channel. And basically we got this one. So it's by Neil's Farm. I think I said his name right. And it's Sun Sum. Now, Neil's Farm, he is, I would say, a total musician, and he's super spiritual. Like, I'm going to totally misquote him, but he said something about, I know that sometimes living is really hard, so I just like to make music which allows people to transcend into another space, and that is totally what his stuff does. It is incredible. Anyway, like, listening to this song, like, really, I think it just gives this whole kind of thing about, it's a really slow burner to begin with, and I just feel like that's this whole kind of like, I hate the word self-isolation. I mean, could they have used a more shit terminology? I mean, let's just put it this way. This is like going inwards, like creating your own sacred space, okay? And you're creating your sacred space to therefore get new insights of new things that are coming. I definitely, and it's in the video that I did with the psychic witch, I really, really feel that new visions are coming for so many of us, because we are going to be stepping into a very different energy soon to do with astrology, a whole new 200-year cycle. I won't go into that too much here, but definitely this song and the channeling is like, you know what, you got to embrace that kind of like sacred space that you will be creating due to the external circumstances. And the more that you use that in kind of a calm, peaceful way and in a productive way, even if it's not necessarily to do with work but your own self-growth, the more that you'll totally get out of this. I do also feel like lots of things are going to be changing, and subtle nuances will be coming in to do with this virus and the updates, but at the same point, internally, I really feel like there's like loads of different things that you're going to have to adapt and change to. And the more that you get into that flow and that flexibility and almost anticipate the fact that anything can happen, the more flow and the more you'll be able to grab the opportunities that come through. Because if you listen to this song, it kind of like, it's always dropping in some additional surprise beats, as it were, but still these surprise beats are in flow with the rest of the tune. And I kind of really feel like that is kind of what's going to go off. I also just, when I was having this song, my spirit guides were like, and to be honest, they've like been going on and on about it to do with me. And then to do with one of, my like really close, basically like my twin flame connection. It's really important to be meditating right now, if you can do that, even if it's just 10 minutes, because of the fact that there really are so many new visions coming in for people. But you know what, if you're involved in all of this chaos and feeding into all of that kind of stress and anxiety, it will be very, very difficult for you to pick up on the subtleties of these new visions that were coming in. Obviously the visions will get stronger and stronger as time goes on, but really, if you want to be able to leverage a situation the best, the sooner that you get the feeling and the awareness of the insight, the more that insight can start working on you, and the more you can start implementing whatever this is into your physical reality, which will absolutely be awesome. So that's really what I'm channeling with this song. Anyway, so you guys listen to it, see how you feel about it. But now let's just pull 5 piles for what your spirit guides want to tell you to do with the coronavirus. Well, flipping out, but we won't take those because I just want 5. So let's see. Okay, so is your answer in pile number 1? Is your answer in pile number 2? Is your answer in pile number 3? Is your answer in pile number 4? Or is your answer in pile number 5? Okay. So just feel in, go with the first response. Bearing in mind you might have an intuition that it's like maybe, a couple of piles mixed up and blended in. Obviously with all of this, just go with what is making sense to you and really try and listen to your own internal guidance as what is relevant as what is not, because obviously this is for a mass group of people. Often if something doesn't sound relevant, see if you can see it from the perspective of a metaphor. So what is the base thing that's trying to be expressed, and then see how that relates to whatever is going on. I usually find that one of the great ways to work with picker cards when I do it for myself. But anyway, let's go on straight to pile number 1. Hi guys, so this is for everybody that chose pile number 1 as holding the message for what your spirit guides most want you to tell you to do with the coronavirus. So let's just see what we are getting. And let's just do the little bit of the channeling to begin with. Right. Pile number 1, what are your guides wanting to tell you? Okay, so for your spirit guides, really want to tell you that how you are communicating, both with yourself to do with what's going on, along with other people around you, is really, really affecting your vibration. And it will affect it in either a positive way or a negative way, depending on obviously what it is that you're saying and how you are interacting with it. What your guides want you to know is that you have this incredible ability to really see through situations, right? So whatever you are personally getting to do with this whole coronavirus, how it's affecting people globally, and also how it's likely to impact you, your spirit guides want you to know that you're really, really close to the truth with this. Okay, so you need to just go with what it is that you are thinking. And your spirit guides want you to know that it is also important to see whatever you're thinking, whatever perspective you are getting to do with this, you just want to then also run through how that logically makes sense. Your spirit guides are saying that it will logically make sense when you look at it from kind of this more linear perspective, but for some reason it's really important that you still go through that filter of your consciousness, which is the reason logical mind. That's really, really important. Your spirit guides are also saying that things are likely to change very, very quickly for you in kind of many situations, and that a bit like what we channeled in the song, you will have to be adaptable and flexible to things that's going on, particularly if, you have a business or some kind of thing like that, or however it is that you are making your income, particularly if it's not very much through you're not an employer per se kind of thing. It's really, really important that you start to make your own connections in whatever way that might be, to do with your business or to do with how you make money. And it's about starting to find those communities now. Like this, your spirit guides are telling you, is really, really important. So for example, let's just say that you are, I don't know, you have a certain business that's to do with something, or you make money in a certain way. It's really important that you find some online communities that also do what it is that you do. This is really, really important. And I think there's something called Reddit or something. I don't know, I'll leave a link below. And I think it's a forum where you can actually start to hear what many other people are saying within your industry. And it can often give you clues about trends that are heading your way to do with whatever your industry is. I'll leave a link below because I can't quite remember it. But my guides are saying, and your guides are saying, that that is really, really important and something for you to be paying attention to right now. Your spirit guides also want you to know that spiritually, how this coronavirus is really going to be affecting you is very much through this whole kind of thing of like how you communicate, the friendship groups that you make, the communities that you invest in, how flexible you are with your thinking, and also how you actually work with anxiety, because some of you will have a tendency to be more anxious than other people. And obviously with this situation, you just need to be mindful that if you're starting to feel anxious about something in your own life, it can currently get a little bit heightened with the coronavirus, just because there's so much anxiety and collective consciousness. So it's about you also understanding how that you can work with that in a constructive way. And once again, like the channeled message, meditation is going to be really, really important. Even if it's just in the shower, you just slow down your breathing and you just visualize the water just clearing off any interference or anxiety or whatever is going off. This will help you no end. But your spirit guides want you to know that you're actually in a very... opportunities will absolutely be coming through for you, but they'll come through fast when they appear, and it is about you recognizing them as soon as they come so that you don't miss them in some way, whatever way that might be. And that is also why your spirit guides are saying that it is really important that you are handling any kind of anxiety or worry, because the more calm and peaceful you can be, the easier it will be for you to be able to snap up what these opportunities are coming. And this is really, really important. Also, if any of you do know people that actually do have the virus, your spirit guides are saying that it's really important that you have a very practical, logical way of looking at this, and that you also don't add any anxiety to the situation. Like, it's really important that you know the actual facts. So, for example, not so much getting pulled up into the news and the media, but just really, really looking at the solid facts about what this absolutely means. And obviously for so many people, the virus in itself is not actually some kind of life-threatening thing. But it's important for you personally to go ahead and to literally get the facts and the statistics of that, so that you absolutely know in your being what this actually means. And actually your guides are saying that that's quite a lot about also the lesson of coronavirus for you guys that pick this pile, is just really starting to make your own mind up about things and being very, very clear, and not playing into any kind of illusions that are coming through, either from the media or even from your own consciousness and anxiety about stuff. So that's really important. Anyway, we channeled loads there. Let me just pull some cards, otherwise we will get lost in that. I have actually a feeling that as a psychic, sometimes it's really easy to channel when something's collectively happening, because there's such a huge energy pull to do with it. So yeah, got a little bit lost there, but let me get these cards out so that we can see what else is going off. I really do feel this thing as well, if you guys are business in any way, it really is also about finding ways that you can make things more like online and things like that, because it's very much, my guides have also told me this, that whatever is going off now, it is giving you ideas about how things are going to be coming in the future, and it's not actually about, the anxiety of situations or the difficulties, but it's about how the trends of things are going to be changing. And so, you know what, it's really, if you have time, it's just about becoming aware of the trends that are happening in business, in finances, in society on the whole, in all of these kind of things. These are just important things for you to be mindful of, so that you can work with this in the most kind of productive way. Let me just get just a couple of more. Obviously at the end as well, we're actually going to pull a power animal card, so that you can work with that. Let's just see. Get here. Oh, I love that crystal. And then let me just, if we need some more cards, we will pull them. Let's go with this. Right, let's see what's going off. Okay. So we have leap of faith in the present. Then we have renewed hope, also in the present. That's quite interesting. And you have, wow, Judgment cards, one of the major arcana. You also have Six of Fire, Glory card. And you also have, which one is this? Not the Queen. This is actually the Knight of Swords, but in a different deck. And then here we have, I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. I mean, that's I love that. I've never seen this card either. That also for some reason looks like planet Earth and all the supportive energies that is going around. Right, just give me a minute while we feel into all of this, what your spirit guides most want you to tell right now. I mean, I just can go straight in with this because I know what this is instantly. Despite circumstances about what is going off, there's something, as a really amazing opportunity that is currently getting built up for you to do with everything that's going off to do with the coronavirus. And the reason why I say that is because you've got leap of hope, leap of faith, renewed hope. You've got the Judgment card, but it's actually called Resurrection in this one. And you've also got the Six of Fire. And also the fact that obviously you're massively, massively supported at the moment, which is really, really cool. And as soon as this card peeped out, what's it called again? Celestine. This for me, whenever I see this, I just know that there's this huge ability to, it's not even transform, but it's just like transmutate whatever it is that you're doing or that you want to do. And it can do it super, super easily. Because say for me, as this crystal very specifically, I've used it for many different things, particularly if I've had pain in my body, or let's say I've had period pains or anything like that. I also used it once when my uncle actually had a really bad shoulder pain, and I just did a bit of like an energy thing on him with this crystal, and it sorted it out. And in years he's never been able to sort it and been everywhere. And I know it's the power of this crystal. This crystal has the ability, like I say, to transmute energy, so turn something from one thing into another thing. And that actually makes sense with this Resurrection card here. So I don't know exactly what this is to do with, because obviously there's so many of you, so it's really hard to just tell you individually. But obviously if I can just give you the general overall kind of metaphor and feeling of it, you know what, there's almost, with this and this as well, this is almost like a rebirth of something for you. And I don't know exactly what that might be. I don't know if it's an idea that you've had that you just need to now really start implementing. I don't know if it's something you tried previously that didn't work, but now it's going to be opening up to you. I feel like this could also not just work on like a creative project or your finances, but also in relationships too. I think for some of you, even though I don't see any cup cards here, my guides are saying that for some of you, your spirit guides also want you to know that this is also happening in a relationship dynamic. There's something about this which is whatever is coming into your mind as I'm saying this, right? This is probably the best way to do this. Whatever is coming into your mind as I'm saying this, this is something that you need to just this is the thing that your spirit guides are wanting to tell you about. So if a relationship popped up as soon as I said that, if something to do with a job did, if something to do with money did, a business project, a creative project, this is what it is that your guides are trying to tell you to do with whatever is coming up. This is where an opportunity lies, and it really does. But also, it's something about this, right? How the coronavirus is kind of relating to this, or how it will work is, it's actually something about you feeling connected into humanity. And actually what all of your guides are saying is that because this is actually hitting everybody globally, there's also this incredible opportunity for everybody to start to feel way more connected to everybody else. And that will work out in many different ways for different people. But specifically for you guys, it's something about you then being able to because you're very much, like all of us, are really, really aware of how the whole planet is feeling and thinking, there's something about this that means that you can see an opportunity for something where somebody requires something which you can support them with. So for some of you, this will be on a relationship level. For some of you, this will be on a business level. This will be on a creative project level, an artistic level, whatever it might be. There's something about this. But this is also why meditation is going to be useful, because you're able to tap into almost like, I don't know why I'm getting it with this card, Judgment. I've never had this before. But it's something about you being able to tap into the collective mind right now. And because you can become aware of how everybody is collectively thinking, and it's very much thinking for some reason for you guys, more than feeling, it's thinking. You're able to tap into how the collective is thinking, that's going to give you some idea about something that's really important, about how you interact in a certain relationship, business project, whatever it might be, right? There's something about that that's really key. And in the beginning, we did channel that thing as well about how whatever it is that you have been thinking about what's been going on to do with the coronavirus, that is correct, but now just make it make sense through a logical mind as well. It's something to do with this. And there is this kind of like, I'm also really feeling as well that with these three cards here in particular, it's something about, and this one to be honest, there's also something about, just wait a minute, your guides are just telling me, just 1 second. yeah, it's just the fact that actually you are, because your energy field has got heightened by what's been going off, and because you're sensitive to the collective in some way, particularly for some reason about how the collective thinks about things, it's actually also opening up more of a gate and a pathway to do with universal guidance as well. And it's kind of like, it's almost like I see this vision here of you being able to stand on the thoughts of everybody else collectively, which then means you're that much higher to, let's say, the universe, and therefore you can pull down messages from the universe much clearer at the moment, but they also then feed into what everybody else is thinking collectively. Now I know that might sound a bit abstract, but my spirit guides are kind of showing me that you are like you're like in a rugby scrum, and you're that rugby player that gets lifted up by the rest of the team to catch the rugby ball to then bring it back down and pass it to a team member. There's something about that that's currently going off for you to do with this coronavirus, or at least that's how you can use it in a super positive way. I'm also obviously getting community is quite a big thing, like we mentioned before, and it is really coming up again. And it's really weird. I don't quite know how this works because I've never known it in this way, but I'm getting this thing about compassion. But actually for you guys, it's not so much like your heart chakra is opening up to do with compassion. It's your mind is opening up to do with compassion. And it's unusual because I've never really been shown compassion in that way. I've always seen it coming out of people's hearts if they've had it, but for some reason it's literally like coming out of your head, like this real compassion connection. But that's really going to, for somehow, really help you with to do with something in relationships, your business, or something like that. And that's something for you to be really, really mindful about what's going on. But for some reason as well, it's really important that you know the logical facts of everything. And your spirit guides are saying it's really quite important for you to be writing things down at the moment. So any ideas that you get, it's almost like you need just a little scrapbook that you put all of these ideas in. And even if they seem non-related, your spirit guides are saying, like, reassess what you've written in your book at the end of each week and see how everything joins in together. And then make more notes of what you notice about how things have joined in together. And if you do this for a couple of weeks in a row, and pretty much however long the coronavirus is affecting humanity, which obviously it's going to take a bit of time, then you're actually going to start to, build a huge amount of ideas and internal resources to do with then this other big opportunity that leads off the back of all of this. And that's what I'm really seeing with this. And like I say, this could work on how you relate in relationships. It could be something to do with your job, your business, your own creative projects, or even, to be honest, some of you, it's your own self-growth. If for some of you, though, it's your own self-growth, that's still ultimately leading into something more like bigger and more specific, like the relationship or the money or the business or something like that. But it is really, really important for you to be meditating right now, or at least having some time where you just let your mind drift, if you know what I mean. And then this is where obviously what they're calling, self-isolation, but obviously really it's just you creating your own sacred space for you to go in and kind of get your own messages. That's really, and that's very, very specifically happening for you guys. So that's just something for you to be mindful of. And even if you have kids or something like that, it's just like when you're in the shower, just like that couple of minutes of just clearing your energy, just breathing calmly, will be enough for some of you to start to align to the energy that's then going to help you channel down information from the consciousness, and therefore you'll know how to apply that to not only your situation, but for some reason the communities that you're also involved in as well. Let me just get one more thing for this though, because I'm not really sure what this wants to tell us, because this is like I say, I even can't get the words out properly to do with this one. It's why I feel like there's a block on this, but basically it's about how you're thinking about something. So let's just see what we get with that. Which cards do I want? We're going to go with the astrology cards. So let's just have a little bit more on that. And for some reason I do just want just a tiny little bit more on this one. Right, let's have a look. So here we get 10th house, reputation, career, responsibility, achievements, competence, fame, notoriety, standing, authority figures, legacy, purpose, pinnacle, the patriarchy, and empire. Right, okay, let me just feel into this. Right, okay, I'm getting quite a specific message with this. And please work with this, with how it's going to work with you metaphorically, if that's how you need to do this. The message that I'm really getting from your spirit guides to do with this is that currently you have a slightly, they're using the word faulty belief system to do with authority, achievements, success, either to do with other people around you, or to do with how you see people in those positions, or even how you see yourself in that position. There's something about your thinking pattern which is slightly like they're showing me train tracks, and it's like one of the train tracks to do with how you think about this is kind of like it's going off in the wrong direction. And your spirit guides want you to know that it's important for you to look at what's going on in the coronavirus and maybe how you feel the government and higher authorities and hierarchy are dealing with it. And what it is that you see that you either like or don't like to do with that has somehow got something very relevant to how you see yourself within that situation of like authority or kind of like where people, reputation, success, something to do with that. And so actually this coronavirus is giving you a really good opportunity for you to correct that faulty belief system that you have ultimately to do with yourself within this position of like, look at this, basically. You can see through the picture. Because 10th house in astrology is actually ruled by Capricorn as well. And all of us astrologers know that a lot of what is going off with this virus is also related to basically the Pluto and Saturn conjunction that was in Capricorn. It's also to do with Neptune as well, but there's also a big part of that. So it really is about looking at checking in with how it is that you think, and it's specifically think because you guys, for whatever reason, it's a very thinking pile. Check in about your thoughts, about what you see, almost about support systems outside of you, because there's something about that will then show you how you can change a belief system you have about yourself to do with support systems outside of you, or even yourself as a support system to yourself or other people. That's going to be different for all of you, so you just really have to think about that. But this coronavirus is really helping to start to show you things to do with support and how you view that. And there's definitely something about that you can make healthier within your belief systems, because this is the thing as well, like I do really feel like a lot of you people that pulled this pile have the ability to massively influence a lot of people in your community. And I'll take that whichever way you will, like within your family, within your working environment, within your industry, whatever it might be. You really have this ability to really influence people, because people for some reason are attracted and drawn to you in some kind of way. And you know what, it's almost like I'm not even sure that you're aware of it, or if you are aware of it, you're not 100% comfortable with it. And I do feel like one of the reasons you're not 100% comfortable with it is because you have some kind of belief system that isn't positive about other influences within the bigger structure of society. But actually, because all of this is getting like huge amounts of spotlight is being put on things like government and all of these kind of establishments right now, it's going to give you a great opportunity for you to wheedle out where you have this faulty belief system to do with that kind of thing within yourself. Change that, and so many things are going to start changing for you, because the universe wants to give you more, even more insight, and there's many souls that are waiting for you to kind of come through with this next idea or way of looking at something or support in some way. But actually, first of all, you need to kind of correct what it is that you feel and think about these bigger external authority systems. Let's just have a look at this one here. Leo. So renewed hope, and we have Leo the lover. So expressive, creative, loving, playful, warm, blah, 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 blah. All these awesome things. Right. Just one second. Let's just see. I mean, actually, what I just really feel like that, and it's because it's above this, is actually, once you've worked on everything that we said, and this coronavirus on a spiritual level is really working to help you change your belief systems about these external systems outside of you, so you can make your internal systems even stronger. And more than that, you can allow people to be attracted to you because you don't mind becoming an influencer in a certain way now, in whatever level scale of your life that is, because you kind of make this healthy. This whole kind of thing about structures and archetypes outside of you then become okay with them inside of you. And actually, there's something about that is going to magnetize a huge amount of people to you, like huge. And I do actually have a video on my other channel, See It Like a Psychic, about the Leo, the highest potential of the Leo archetype. This is the energy that you will be able to work with very directly once you change this belief system. So I'll leave a link for that video, because I do feel like that will be really, really useful. And you know what? Because it's next to the renewed hope, I do think this is something you've been kind of starting to become aware of for a while, I would imagine, because I do feel like your spirit guides have been trying to kind of push you into that area of kind of in some way allowing yourself to like shine even brighter, to do with whatever it is that you're passionate about, creative about, something like that. And also along with this success card here, and even to be fair, the leap of faith, with all of these cards here, it's kind of really showing that I do think you've been working at trying to really go forward and be successful with whatever it is that you want to be successful in, or the thing that you've been working for. I feel like you've been working for this thing, your guides are kind of saying, like, for the last 18 months, like, quite strongly, and definitely the last year. You've been really, really trying to work at creating whatever it is that you want to achieve. But in order for you to now get onto the next step, it's like being really comfortable with being very successful and being seen in your outer world as being very successful. That's just what needs to shift. But in order to be okay with that, you've kind of like got to find a way of, you don't have to agree with, but it's somehow accepting. It's somehow weird, but it's something about accepting the weakness within other big structured systems, like authoritative systems outside of you, and recognizing that you won't be like that. So the things that you fear on a deeper level, you may become if you step into that position of authority in some way, because you see authority outside of you as just being, let's say, maybe crazy and not something that you aspire to be. However, you just have to realize that you would do this in a very, very, very different way, and therefore it's safe for you to step into that space of success. And that is ultimately really what I'm getting to do with this. And you know, when you do that, your guides have got so much more information to give you. You will get so many ideas of things coming through. So just also make sure as well, to do with whatever is currently going off, to do with the virus or the media or the government or anything to do with that, because like, kind of like, I would never usually say the media was 10th house, but look, you can see all these cameras and lights shining on something and giving something a lot of attention, and it even looks like a church behind. So there's lots of things for some of you guys to definitely to do with external authority and big external authority systems outside of you, that is something that you're not too keen about, all of that in some way. It really is now about you recognizing that, you know what, that is an old way. And in all honesty, with the new astrology that's coming through, we're ending this 200-year cycle to do with like earth elements being in control, and it's going into air elements starting to take control. So the Aquarius, the Libra, the Gemini, all of that kind of energy. And actually, when that sort of energy comes in, you guys will end up ultimately feeling a lot different about authority structures outside of you, because those structures will be like sending off a reflection that isn't so that's a very different reflection, basically in alignment with the earthy type, the air type element, sorry, and that will really resonate with you, and it will be something which will bring you a lot of happiness, success and joy. So the more you can start stepping into and recognizing that now, the better. Just not the better, but the more that you can leverage this situation. So use that as an opportunity, if that kind of makes sense. Anyway, now let's pull a power animal card for you. And for some reason I do feel like I should read this out the book. My guys just told me I needed to. So let's just see what you guys get to support what's been going off. Okay, here we go. Porcupine spirit, beginner mind. Time for the beginner mind. I mean, I think that makes sense. We're saying so much stuff is mind for you guys at the moment. There's so much going off with that. Let's just see what it says. Okay, so it says, porcupine spirit, time for the beginner mind. When porcupine spirit calls your name, you are being asked to adopt a beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity. The old confining stories no longer have a hold on you. Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you've been seeking, whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence you have all you need now to co-create what you desire. Who knew? Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. There is so much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. And I'm going to also read the protection message so that, you know, you can just find the holistic point of all of it. It says here, the protection message: you are feeling prickly and defensive lately and assuming you will be hurt before you have seen any sign that such a reaction is called for. Perhaps an old sense of guilt and shame is causing you to be cynical and wary when you have meant to be open and curious. Self-protection is a good thing, but you may be protecting yourself from something that will not actually harm you, but instead will bring you abundance, happiness, and love. That's really interesting. I do feel that vibe as well. Anyway, it says, remember your innocence and you will see what you have been overlooking. Porcupine quills are filled with air, allowing a porcupine to float in water. Now is the time to let your innocent nature keep you buoyant. I mean, I think that's a really powerful message, particularly with obviously what's currently going off in collective consciousness. Once again, like, you guys, just be really mindful that you don't get pulled up into the negative or the anxiety thought processes of what's going off in collective consciousness, particularly to do with the media and all of these kind of things, because currently, like, you're definitely sensitive to that because you are so connected in on a level. But yeah, like that card is saying, there really is some kind of opportunity, but it's definitely about you seeing something in a new way to what you had previously done, and that really is going to ignite a whole other pathway for you. And so there really is something very, very positive to do with this. I also just want to let you know, I did a little story on Instagram, which I'll leave a little link for as well, to do with Neptune and what my spirit guides told me about how this is affecting everybody and how it relates to your birth chart. So if you also want to have a look at that, you can. Like I say, there's the video I've done with Teresa, or the Astrid, the Psychic Witch. We go into more of this, so you might be able to put some of this together with that. But other than that, I hope you find that useful. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing way more of these kind of things. Also, like I say, check out my other channel, See It Like a Psychic. I post lots of different psychic things there. My Instagram is Abigail Grace 2311, and I also have Facebook and Twitter. I usually post lots of psychic things on there. And if you would like a reading from me, I'm just doing my website, so you can contact me on this email here and we can get that sorted out. But other than that, just definitely put together everything we've been saying and definitely bring some meditation in, because it's really, really going to be useful. And specifically for you, there's something really powerful to do with, like, what they're calling this self-isolation. But for you guys, it's more like a sacred space where you're going to be able to open up and get the ideas that you need to move you forward in ultimately different areas of your life. And definitely check out the Leo video as well, and that'll be really useful, so you can understand what energy you can step into once you release any of these now outdated belief systems to do with hierarchies. Because ultimately we all have a hierarchy within ourselves, and whenever you have a difficulty with the hierarchy outside of you, or at least you have a charge to it, you'll in some way have a charge to that hierarchy inside of you. That just needs to get neutralised, so then you really can become absolutely your highest potential in life, which this is ultimately setting you up to be. So I love that message. It's really cool. Speak to you guys soon. Bye. Hi guys, this is for everybody who chose message number 2 as holding the information for what your spirit guides most want you to tell you right now to do with the coronavirus. So let's have a look and see what we get. Okay, let me just feel into this and channel into this. So what do your spirit guides most want you to know about what's currently going on? Okay, so there's something about the actions that you're taking that it's really, really important you make sure that you are, and this is the interesting phrase your spirit guides are saying, it's really, really important that you're taking the initiative, but you are not being reactive. And this applies to the actions that you are taking as a result to what is going off to do with the coronavirus. That's really, really important. I do feel like for some of you, you're in a position where you feel like you potentially have quite a lot to lose. However, you're actually in a situation where, for whatever reason, you have the insight, the ability, you know someone, you have connections, you maybe even have good communication with your own spirit guides. You're all going to be different, right? So take where you're at, but you're in a position where you actually have more available. you actually have more information available to you to do with what is actually really going on to do with the coronavirus. Like I say, for some of you, it will be like me, you'll be like really in tune with your psychic stuff and you'll be able to perceive the deeper layers. For others of you, it's because the actual position that you have in life, or that you're connected to somebody that knows something, or you're actually somebody that's able to find that information on your own through the internet or resources or something like that. But the key part with this is take the initiative, but do not be reactive. And your guides are also saying that this will start in your mind. So really, really be mindful about what you are absorbing in your mind, because the closer you get to understanding what's really going off, the closer that you will get to getting pulled into the collective consciousness that really buys into certain things that, wait, I want to be really careful with my wording here, just one second, that really buys into things that ultimately hold a lot heavier energy. And you just want to be mindful that that heavier energy doesn't start to pull you down because of what you're becoming aware of. Because actually your spirit guides are saying that actually what it should be doing is just giving you more insight about therefore how to move forward in the most productive way. And this is really, really key. So it's like really, really important that you, like I say, you take the initiative on what you know, and you're not reactive to anything you know. And your spirit guides are saying that the reason how you'll be able to differentiate what it is because if you're going to take the initiative, you will actually feel quite calm. You'll feel quite calm and centered. If you're doing something from a more reactive space, you're absolutely going to be feeling, and the word I'm getting here is like irritated or irritable in some way. And it might also mean that if you're interacting with somebody, your conversation will get irritable, something like that. This is the key way how you'll understand if it's from a place of initiating something or if it's from a place of being reactive. And that's just something that you need to be really mindful of. I'm also getting the feeling as well that in some way you actually have got a real ability to have a huge amount of flow, actually. So despite the chaos that's going off within collective consciousness to do with this coronavirus, there's something about the situation that you're in, whether you realise it or not, that you can actually capitalise on a lot of flow within your life. However, like I say, this just means you have to be really careful that you are not reacting, but it's initiating. Your spirit guides are also saying that the reason as well why you might get into that space of reacting is also because of the fact that there is a lot of ability for things to move rapidly for you in a certain direction that can be very, very positive, and that something about it will take you into a place of you being more authentic. There's something huge about your own authenticity coming out with what's currently going off and how you can make this work for you. But it's really important that, like I say, just don't get pulled into the heaviness of what's also going on to do with this virus, even though if that is the authenticness of what's actually happening to do with the virus, you must be smart, you must be savvy. You've got to like find that incredible balance of like being part of something while not being part of it at all, because being part of it allows you to get the full perspective and allows you to like have all of the information about what you require to move forward. However, if you just tip that too far, you'll get sucked into it and you'll become part of it, and that's something that you just ideally don't want to do. And that's the advice that your spirit guides really want you to know. Your spirit guides are also saying, but you've completely got this, it is not a problem for you, because ultimately you do have this inner warrior spirit, and you do have this wise, you either have a wiseness within you or you have some connections around you that are wise. And I'm even getting for some of you, like you do have people that are psychics in your life, or you have a psychic or whatever it might be, but you have that kind of like oracle guidance around you which helps you, because so often and I do kind of see this as souls, that you can often get warriors paired up with like mystics and I think it just goes back to sort of many past lives of where those kind of setups kind of occurred. So basically, you just need to use everything that you have around you and just be smart and savvy. And I'm really getting that you're really going to start to become very clear about what is authentic for you and what isn't. And you're really, really, really dissolving so many illusions. not just around you but within you. And I think this is also something about what gives you so much flow. All I can like see is like your energy field getting purified by stuff, and then like a wave is coming up and it's just picking you and it's taking you off in a direction. And because you're not pulled down by all of these illusions which have got purified out of your energy field, you're actually able to get on top of the wave and surf the wave, and it's easy for you and it's great. So that's the kind of vision that I'm getting for you guys with that. Now let's just pull some cards, because like with the other piles, sometimes it's easy to get stuck in the channeling, and I do love the channeling, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, what's that just flicked out? Wow, mental transformation. And that's the future, it says here, if you can see that. So mental transformation. Okay. And I actually think, because we were talking about this as well, this is to do with any illusions that you've had, both with yourself and with things within your reality. All of that is starting to get dissolved, and that is ultimately as well what's making you more authentic. And actually, probably, you guys are saying that actually the coronavirus is like a really good playground for you to start to work with illusions and what those become like in life. And I know that in the video that I did with the psychic witch, illusions did come up a lot, because Neptune is related to viruses. It's one of the planets that relates to viruses and that kind of thing. And Neptune is full of illusions too. So there's very much this thing that's kind of coming up, and that's something that's very much a part of what is going off for you in your life in many different areas. And it's getting triggered and stimulated by this coronavirus. Wait, sorry, I also felt like something else was coming through. Just give me a minute, because I just missed it. Sorry, what? Let me just get that again. What was that? Just 1 minute. Something to do with you guys, an illusion. Oh my god, you know why I can't get this as well? Because it's so on the periphery of your guys' energy fields that it's hardly conscious. But just give me 1 second and we'll pull it in, because I know this is really important. Just 1 minute. Ah, yes, it is freaking important. It's really important to do with what we were saying about initiating, taking the initiative rather than reacting. You guys definitely should watch that video with me and Astrid, because I talk about this. But basically, it's about the fact that you need to be mindful of what are illusions and what are not illusions. Because if you take action, and if you make decisions and take actions of something which is an illusion, down the line, that's going to crumble, and actually it's going to give you nothing. However, it's also having this flexibility of mind, so almost like the mental transformation, that there's no problem with illusions in life, and illusions can just be part of creativity in many ways. It's only a problem when you buy into those illusions and you make decisions off those illusions and you take actions off those illusions. That causes problems. Okay, so what you need to do is just be mindful of what is an illusion and what is not, and not make decisions or actions of things that are illusions. And there's a really big thing for you guys on a spiritual soul level that's really coming up to do with that, to do with this coronavirus in some way. Let me just get another one. I just want 2 more cards and then we'll turn them all over. I do really, really love this card though. I love the energy. It just feels super like a conscious creator. It's really, really, really got that kind of like vibe going off. Oh, 2 want to come out, so we'll let it go. And then let's just pull one more here. And there's just a lot of energy going off as well, I really feel, for you guys. Ooh, what crystal is that? Durbanite. I've got no idea what that is. It says here, turn on your electric light. But let's just see the rest of them. So we have calling parts home. This is also a future card. Then we also have, wow, living in the now, parallel. We have glory, 6 of fire. It's interesting, pile 1 also had that. We have the mountain, but it wasn't reversed. I'm leaving it reversed. And we have brother water. So that's like Knight of Cups, I think. Now let's just see what we have here. So we have, I don't have to fear my fear. I can use it as a way to get closer to love. And my ability to receive is measured by how much I practice good feeling thoughts. Okay, so I do think as well there is a real mind game that's going off for you guys, and I do feel like what we talked about before, it pulls into this thing we discussed about illusions. What is what is real and what is not, to do with everything that's going off. And I think the thing about the fear is, ultimately that'll be the thing as well. When you're buying into an illusion, if you could really check within yourself, it will feel a little bit off. It will make you feel even a tiny little bit anxious. Sometimes, however, though, we can be buying into an illusion and it can be a complete block, in which case you won't really feel a single thing because it's such a blind spot. So that's just something else that you want to be mindful of. But I do feel like if that is the case, if there is some kind of illusion that's going off within your life specifically, then, and it is a block, I think after listening to this reading, you'll start to see other signs that you might be blocked in some way to do with an illusion in your life. It will start to be the catalyst for it. So don't worry if you're not aware of it. If you can kind of feel what it is already, then you just need to start paying some attention to this and start working with it in a certain type of way. Because I'm actually also really getting that for some reason, as these two cards here, it's like, I think some of you are like going with an illusion in your life because you do feel like a part of you is not satisfied, and you actually think that this illusion will satisfy that feeling that something isn't being filled within you. But obviously that's just distracting you from everything else that you have that's already great in your life. Because I do feel like a lot of you have got a lot of success in whatever way that might be. It might be relationship, family, creativity, money, business, job, whatever. There is a lot of success that you have. However, I'm not sure if you can totally and utterly appreciate it because of like this. It's also like with the Eight of Earth, which is the Eight of Pentacles in reversed. It's kind of like, I don't think you recognise how much hard work. No, wait a minute. I don't think you recognise, that's really interesting, that you actually don't need to put in as much hard work as what you think in your life. However, because you've constantly been striving after something which is in some ways a little bit of an illusion, you're always having to work hard, because really you're working towards something which ultimately might not be able to be fully available in this reality in some format. Now that's not to say that your whole vision needs to change, but it's just about having a slightly different filter on the way that you're looking at something will allow you to see it in a new light, and therefore you'll get this whole new perspective of kind of like how to move forward. And it's interesting with this card, even though it's like a water card, so a cups card, which is usually about feelings, all I can just see is all this energy coming out of the person's head, and that also just makes me think as well about mental transformation. And for some reason, this crystal here as well makes me think of a wand energy, like a lot of focused, direct energy. And I just really feel that what your spirit guides want to tell you about this coronavirus is that ultimately it's trying to highlight within you something to do with an illusion within your reality. And that's what it's doing, and that's what it's triggering. And I do really feel as well, if some of you, like we channeled in the beginning, do have somebody or some people in your life that are naturally more psychic or intuitive, or you have a psychic that you go to or whatever it might be, they will be able to give you more specific insight on exactly what this illusion is, if you're not already aware. But I really feel like it's something amazing for you guys to look into, because it's going to get you what it is that you want so much quicker and faster. But it's almost like without uncovering this tiny bit of whatever this illusion is, it's really just going to be tricky for you to create what it is that you want to create. And there's something about that that's really playing off. So as well as this coronavirus is trying to show you this thing about taking action from the initiative rather than be reactive, also not getting pulled into like a certain heavy vibe, or like dancing in the middle of like a bonfire basically without getting burnt. There's something about that you were doing, but also because you're able to, like I say, dance in the middle of a bonfire without getting burnt, you've got this incredible perspective and position in your life to kind of really see something in a way that many other people can't see. And it's by getting that unique perspective that you get this additional thing which is going to help you be more successful in whatever this is related to. So now the way that I work this with the other pile is, just when I'm talking about this, see if you feel like this is a relationship dynamic, if this is something to do with your past, your future, your business, your money, your job, your career, your friendship groups, what intuitively when I said those words really lit up, and that's the area of your life that you want to look at everything that we've been talking about here, because that's really what your spirit guides are trying to tell you this is all to do with. And you don't have to work this hard, particularly mentally. You don't mentally have to work this hard to do with whatever it is that you've been working to create. It really is about having a change in perspective. And this change in perspective is going to shift the whole thing around. And you will also very much this power, your spirit guides are saying this. What's going to happen to you guys is you will suddenly become a different person while still being the same person. And I know that sounds really cryptic, but it's just kind of like you, by removing the illusion, by seeing something in a new light, it's not only going to open you up and kind of make you more, I can just see your energy field like opening up and becoming more expansive, which actually means it has the ability to kind of pull to it more resources and interactions and connections. And also you've then got a bigger energy field to kind of like hold whatever it is that you're wanting to work with. So not only is it going to make your energy field bigger by being able to do that, but in some way it sort of transforms a core part of who you are. And it's almost like in a shamanic way, I feel like you have like a tiny bit of a lost part to do with whatever this is. And actually for some of you it's a lost part, which means that something's happened previously in this life or another life, which meant that you shut away part of you almost to protect it. And by shutting away and protecting it, it actually means that part of you isn't available for you now to be creative with, to attract wealth, money, health, relationships, whatever it might be. So for some of you, you have a lost part to do with whatever this is. But also for some of you, it's more like it's not lost, but you just literally switched it off. You just switched off whatever this is, so it is also no longer able to work with you in your life. But by going through the things that we've said, it's going to bring back that last part to you, or it's going to re-switch back on that part of you. So once again, you have more of your own energy to be the creator and create whatever it is that you're wanting. And that kind of really reminds me of these two cards together, because I feel like you have so much creative ability. And I do feel like you guys have really quite a strong, powerful energy field, but also because of that you just have to be careful that when big things go off in collective sorry, my camera just like quit out then. Just literally as I was saying, that the thing is you guys need to be really mindful that you are kind of like very you do have such a big energy field, and therefore you have to be really mindful about the fact that when big things go off into collective consciousness, like currently that they are, that you don't draw on too much of the energy of what is going off around you, just because you are more connected into it in some way. But that's also what also can feed your power, so, and your energy system. So you just really need to be conscious and mindful to do with that, and that's something that you can completely do, and it's not a problem. I think for you guys it's more just being mindful and aware of that, because I do feel like a lot of you have an incredible mind. Like you have a really, really, like the words that I'm getting is like fertile mind. Like you're really aware of things, you're able to see things in a different, clear perspective, and I do also feel like you have the ability to take action through on that, which is great. But yeah, just being mindful of everything you said. I kind of feel for some reason I just need to pull another card. I didn't do it for the other piles, but I really don't know. It's just a feeling that I get. I just want to make sure that we've got all of the messages, and I feel like there's still something a little bit missing. So let's just see what we get here. I just really, as well, looking at this picture, just don't allow yourself to get swept up in everything that's going off. Definitely do not. Even if you're in a situation where potentially it's having quite a big physical impact, I don't know, there's just something about getting a different perspective on it and stepping away from it in some way. And this is why I really do feel like for you guys, for some reason it just keeps coming in. Like, go and get a reading from your oracle, whoever is your oracle. For example, I used to have my acupuncturist. For some reason, he was just an oracle for me. And he would just, without even knowing it, he would say exactly what it was I needed to hear to get the shift. So you might have somebody like that. I mean, I also have it with some of my friends as well. I just know that they can tell me exactly what I need to hear at the right moment moment, and different friends I know are good for different topics. So it might not even be that you have a tarot reader or anything like that, or you might do, but I don't know, there's something that will be really, really useful for you guys to do with what's currently going off. Let's just see what additional insight. I think as well why I'm getting that message is because actually this is obviously the general reading, but there is something quite a bit more specific that is relevant for you guys as well, which I can't out channel because there's too many of you with it slightly differently, and that's why you need to go to your actual resource for that, like I say, whoever is your oracle reader in whatever way. But anyway, let's just see what additional thing we get here. Oh, that's such a nice card. Heaven on earth. So I think ultimately what you guys do want to tell you is, and this just very much reminds me of kind of living in the now. And also, to be fair, this card, I've always really loved this card because it just feels like, I suppose a little bit, I think Pile 1 had this. It's like unconditional love coming out of your head, which sounds really clumsy, but you know what I mean? It's got that kind of vibe. But I think ultimately what your guys just really want to tell you is that it goes back to this illusion again. Like, you know, the heaven on earth. I know it definitely potentially doesn't feel like heaven on earth for anybody right now. But maybe that's just showing that there is some kind of illusion about what is going off. But obviously we're all of us buying into this huge thing that's being told through the media and this and that and the other. And it's really interesting actually. I have a little niece who's like, she's 5 now. And I am so aware in her and her generation, they just don't buy into any of this shit. They just do not. They have a very, very different perspective coming in to do with all of these like authority figures outside of us, and also to do with the media as well. And also that generation, I just feel, has this really good ability to like really know, like, they know what's authentic and they know what isn't. And a bit like what we were saying before about you guys, if you need to be mindful, you don't make choices or take actions off things which are actually illusions in some way on whatever level. They're people like my niece and that generation that are coming through, where they really take actions and make decisions off what is authentic and what is not. Like they're really, really tuned in naturally to do with that. But yeah, I do think your spirit guides ultimately want you to know that with whatever is currently going off in the coronavirus, there is this real ability for you to see it in a very different way, which will actually give you an incredible opportunity. And it is quite interesting as well, because on the video I did with the psychic witch, with Astrid, we did do this thing about, we're just really, really aware that new visions are going to be coming in for people, but people need to be in a calm space and able to receive those visions. And I do also think this is partly like what that whole self-isolation, but I see it as more as you just having your own sacred space. You know, there's something about that which is going to help a lot of people. If they don't buy into the madness and the chaos, it's going to lead a lot of people to awarenesses and insights that they need to then know what is the next best step in many different areas of their life. And that is something that is categorically available for you, Pile, like hugely. So let's just pull now a pair animal card just so you can put that together with everything else that's come on and make this more unique for you. Because like I say, you all obviously have different situations. For some reason, my guides told me that I just need to read out from the book. So we'll draw it and then I'll read what it says in the book so that you can put it together with everything else that's going on. Sorry, I'm anal about this. I hate hairs being on the tarot spreads. I don't even know why. Anyway, let's just see this card. Oh, wow. Peacock, let it shine. Let's just see what it says in the book about that. Okay, so it says, Oracle message, when is the last time you shook a tail feather, shined your light for all to see? Within each of us is a peacock spirit yearning for expression, and you are called now to show the world the generous creature you are, for you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out from the shadows, peacock spirit says, and show your true colours, so that others may be inspired to express their own exquisiteness. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force energy and sparkling light. You are a channel for divine love, and your dance is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it shimmer, and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being right here, right now. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. Then I'm just going to read the protection message just so that you get like a full perspective of everything. It says here, are you afraid of dancing with abandonment because of what others might think? Do you think you may be punished if you shine too brightly? Have you been conditioned to expect to be hurt if you show yourself fully to the world? You see, maybe you guys, you just have this illusion to do with yourself. Sorry, because it's just coming through, so I just have to say it. Maybe you guys just have an illusion coming through about something to do with yourself. And you know what we said before about something will happen to you so that you see yourself, you suddenly become a completely different person. I wonder if this is also about how you're ultimately going to be seeing yourself too, because there is something incredible there that you're not quite aware of for some reason. And maybe that's part of the illusion that's coming in. Anyway, let's just have a look. Peacock Spirit is here to remind you that while others may resist celebrating the beauty within them, although they may contract while you expand and shake your tail feathers, smile and keep dancing anyway. Model the good fortune and abundant joy that is yours, and soon someone will say, "Me too," and join you. Spirit loves you so much and wants you to enjoy the dance and shine your light. I mean, that as well really reminds me of this kind of heaven on earth kind of card. And for some reason, I always really, really like this one because I like the dolphins, and dolphins are like kind of super playful, super joyful. So probably this is something that you just need to be mindful of about whatever is currently going off for you to do with the coronavirus. That actually, it's here to help you shine and express your uniqueness in some additional way. And I don't know what that is because it's going to be very different for all of you, and it's going to be in different areas of your life for all of you, from family, relationship, job, business, whatever it might be. But there really is, I just feel like there's a big chance for a big transformation to occur, but almost like a virus, and this is interesting, almost like a virus, this is almost going to happen on an unseen level within you. And so it's almost like you won't even realise it's happening. All you'll know is that ultimately one day you wake up and you'll just see yourself and things in such a different way that it's almost like you won't even easily remember how you were to do with that thing previously. And obviously just put that together with how that works for you. But this is also reminding me on my Instagram, I have an Instagram, Abigail Grace 2311. I'll leave a link for that. I've actually got a story that I did on Neptune and what my spirit guides told me Neptune is currently doing to do with how it's impacting people, because in astrology Neptune relates to viruses, so clearly it's getting triggered, and therefore you can look to see how this is more specific to you. So I'll just leave a link for that, but it's in my story, so you'll have to check it on that. And it's under astrology. I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. I post lots of other psychic things on there, so you might find that useful to do with some stuff. And if you'd like a reading from me, just do my website, so you can contact me on this email. But if you like this reading, please like and subscribe to my channel. I usually do, my readings are usually quite deep in this way, if you know what I mean. I don't really go into too much of the like I don't know, straightforward. I like to go a little bit deeper to the real unseen level. So if that's what you're into, I'm sure you'll love all my stuff. But other than that, just take on board everything we've said and definitely think about contacting whoever is your oracle, okay? Because I know there's an additional thing that your spirit guides want you to hear on top of what you've already heard here, but it needs to be more specific to you. I've never actually felt the need to say that in any other pick a card before, so I do think it's really relevant. But anyway, I will hopefully see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye. So hi guys, this is for everybody that chose pile number 3. It's holding the message for what your spirit guides most want to tell you right now to do with the coronavirus. So let's just do a little bit of a channeling and see what we get. Also, you just feel into it too. So what do your spirit guides want you to know right now? Okay, so the first thing I'm getting is that your guides really want you to know that something is unfolding for you to do with what's currently going off, and you don't quite have all the information that you need yet to make whatever decision it is that you're contemplating or considering or thinking about. There's still something more that needs to be revealed to you, and your guides that are saying that the message will come quicker to you the more you can just relax to do with whatever is going off. And so they're actually showing me that, like, obviously all of you will be different, but it's kind of like you just need to find a tiny bit of a meditative space within you so that you can just kind of like, so they're almost like showing me like be still long enough so that you can receive the additional insight or inspiration that you need before you make the decision, take the action. So for some of you that could literally just be meditation. It could be a salt bath. It could be, it could just be going for a walk in the park. All of you will know what is your thing, and obviously with what is available that you can do. But that is just really, really important. And just one second. This is for some of you, not for all of you, but you just got to go, because obviously it's for a lot of people out there, so just go with this. For some of you, this is about really creating something really quite different in your life, and because of what has happened with the coronavirus, for some reason it started to trigger or make something it's not triggered, it's just made something even more clear about a direction that you need to take in your life. So for a lot of you, what your spirit guides are saying is, you've already been knowing that you've been needing to make a change or a course correction to do with something, and actually the coronavirus is just heightening the fact that you do need to make that change, and it's like confirming it for you. What I've done for all the other piles, because I know you're all into different stuff, is I'm just going to say these words and see which one resonates for you to do with what it is that your guides are wanting to talk to, what this message is to do with. So this message could be to do with relationships. It can be to do with your business, your work, your career, your money, your health, your life purpose, your creative projects. And I am getting the word childhood, so I'm going with it. So for a few of you, there'll be something to do with that. So obviously now when we do the rest of the reading, just see how that plays into whatever you're saying. But yeah, you don't quite have all the information that you need yet to make the decision that you're looking for. You need a little bit of space to kind of like just allow things to settle. And also you have already been feeling and getting signs that you needed to make this course correction. But for whatever reason, the coronavirus has now made it more obvious to you about how you need to course correct. Or it's not course correct, but it's like how you need to go off in this slightly new direction. Or for some of you, it'll be a very new direction. But I feel like for a lot of you, it's more just like you're just needing to start looking at something in a different way and just doing something different to do with whatever that is. And I do feel like for some of you, you do have a little bit of like trepidation or fear to do with making this new change. But your spirit guides want you to know that this is just going to start a very different life cycle for you in whatever area of your life it is. And you'll always feel nervous whenever you come to basically one of these choice points. And your spirit guides want you to know that this really isn't to do with the coronavirus itself. This is to do with this deeper transition that you know that you need to make within your life. That's really what I'm getting through on that there. And let's just pull some more cards to get some more details and everything. So, pile 3, what do your spirit guides want to tell you to do with the coronavirus? If any of you are stressing as well, I'm really getting that your guides are like, you really don't have to stress about what's going off. You really, really don't. Like, obviously for some people this is going to impact them more than other people, but they're just sort of saying like, you can relax. And I got that because as soon as they said that to me, I just really needed to sigh, and it was just like a real load of like, I release some tension coming off me. And I really feel like that is the message that your guides are wanting to convey to you about what's going off. And that it's actually more important that you really start paying attention to whatever is this change that you're becoming more and more aware that you need to make. Whether it's about doing something differently to do with a relationship dynamic, or whether it is doing something different to do with money or your job. Oh wow, that flew straight out. Emptiness. As well, your guides are really wanting, I'm really getting that your guides are wanting you to know that you really, really are being massively supported with everything that's going off currently, and that it really is important for your soul's development that you actually implement these changes. And really as well, what the virus is doing for you, like on a spiritual level, on that deeper level, is it's really trying to dissolve some things. Either something in your life, a way of thinking in your life, a way of feeling in your life. It's just wanting to help you dissolve something which no longer has a place in the new future that you want to be creating. So like I say, you've got to put that relevant as to whatever it was your guides were wanting to talk to you about. Like we went through the themes of what it could be, but it really is about dissolving something. And I'm really getting the strong word that it's dissolving, because I'm really feeling like this isn't something that is even though you might think it's really difficult or it comes with a lot of challenges, actually once you start to activate that pathway, it will be easy. You know, just like sort of like almost like just salt dissolving in water. It almost even requires no effort. You know what I mean? It just naturally does that. And there's something about that that's will be occurring for you, but all you have to do is just say yes to that process occurring, and then it will start to make its way through. But like I say, whatever has been happening for you to do with the coronavirus, whatever it's been making you think or feel, or whatever impact it's had on you physically, it will have been reconfirming something that you were already previously thinking you might need to do or change, or something to do with that. Just get a couple more. But like I say, you don't actually quite have all the information yet. And your guides are also saying that even just through this reading, you will start to be opening up that part of you, which is then going to be open to the messages or the insights, or, you know, the people just saying something that you need to hear. Your guides are also saying that if you do want additional support from them, they're really happy to work with you in terms of giving you signs, but they are saying that you must tell them what coding you want for this system. And what they're saying they mean by that is basically, if you want to know if something is the right thing to do, you need to tell them what it is that you want to be the confirmation. So you can be as specific as you want to. And your guides are saying it's a good idea, because of all the intensity that's going around with everything, be very, very specific. So it might be like, I want, if I do need to do this action and whatever this might be, please can you send me a sign in the form of, and then state it. It might be an object that's a certain colour that comes at a certain time in the day. It could be anything. Just make it really specific. And your guides are also saying, why don't you just meditate on it and see what idea comes through to you as to what to use as the sign. Because along with this whole idea that something is about dissolving and creating something new for you in some way, the more that you can kind of be less forceful but like more flowy in some kind of way, will also help actually you move through this time period with the most amount of ease. So also it wouldn't be about too much forcing what you want something to be, but almost that real kind of co-creating with life in a way. And your spirit guides are totally up and open to be helping you in this way. And also, if you're somebody that would be helping with dreams, like just pay attention to your dreams coming up as well, to do with whatever is going off to do with this. And I haven't had this for any of the other piles, but for some reason it's coming in quite strongly that for you, your spirit guides are saying it's really, really useful that you also really look at the nutrition that you put within you just during this time of kind of a little bit of chaos. Like for some reason it will really help self-soothe you and your energy field if you're really eating well and you're eating really cleanly. I don't really know why that is, it's just really coming through. But anyway, let's just see what we get here. Nice. So we've got 9 of water, which is 9 of cups. It's very positive. We have 3 of earth, which is 3 of pentacles in reverse. We have, I love this one, Mother Wind, so that is Queen of Swords upright. I also love this Queen of Swords here because it's the most softest, flowing, vulnerable, feminine of all the decks I've ever seen to do with the Queen of Swords. So I feel like your thoughts are actually very malleable right now, which is a really, really positive thing. I kind of feel like you guys are either in the space of surrender or you're going to be hitting the space of surrender, but you're not going to be surrendering from a place of... and this wouldn't be the word of surrender, but I just have to say this, it's not like you're becoming a victim to this situation, but it's more that you are being almost a bit of an observer is what I'm getting, which is actually really, really useful, given everything that's going off. And that's exactly the space that you need to be in. So if you don't currently feel like you're being an observer, but you feel like you're more getting pulled into the drama and the hype of this coronavirus, know that for you it's really important that you step out of that space and just become the observer. Kind of try and become quite neutral to do with it. And my spirit guides are actually saying that a really good video for you guys to look at would be on my other channel, See It Like a Psychic. It's to do with the Libra, the highest potential of the Libra archetype. There's something about you activating that kind of energy within you to do with this situation that will be super, super powerful and help you to do with whatever these kind of new way of doing something is coming through, to do with whatever it is in your life, like we said, relationship, job, career, stuff like that, whatever it is. And we obviously have the Tower card upright. We also have healing, crisis and purging in the present. Oh, I know. Oh, we have Soulgite. I always think of this as like the life purpose stone, and I don't know why, but I really do. And that to me, this is kind of what I'm feeling like we're channeling even more. So whatever this thing is to do with, if it's a relationship, if it's job, if it's a creative project or whatever it is that you've been thinking that you maybe need to do or start doing, I do really feel like it's massively part of your life purpose in some way. It's a massive part of your life purpose. And in this way, this would probably make sense with this as well. In this way, the coronavirus is really kind of quite a catalyst for something for you. It's a real catalyst. And it's a catalyst about in some way having some kind of effect on you, which I even feel could be subconscious. So it might not even be that all of you are being directly going to be impacted by, as in like very physically impacted by the coronavirus, but it's more just kind of like it's just going to do something. It's going to subtly change your psychology, which in some way is going to help you make choices and take actions which are pulling you and taking you in alignment with your life purpose. In fact, oh my God, that makes total sense as well with this card, healing, crisis and purging. I feel for some of you guys really have been on a healing crisis to do with something. And for some interesting reason, quite a lot of you, I get this isn't kind of like a relationship dynamic. And not for all of you, but for some of you. But still, go with first of all what your spirit guides were trying to tell you in the beginning. But I feel like you've done a lot of healing to do with some kind of dynamic like that in your life. And now this is kind of like the last bit of purging, and then you'll be in alignment to take the actions that you need to take to get on track with whatever this is. And I actually do really feel that strongly, because we didn't even have a chance to turn this card over. But this card says, I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to become reality. So, you know, whatever this thing was that we obviously channeled in the beginning about, really this is about you sort of like whatever you've been feeling that ultimately you needed to do, either to do with a relationship, job, money, whatever it is, the coronavirus has then for some reason just stimulated like your desire or your want to do that even more. So if it's kind of take your business in a new way, if it's kind of like forge out your career in a different pathway, if it's kind of like to take communication or communicate with somebody in a new way or re-communicate with somebody in a new way, or I don't know, it's this sort of energy that's coming through, so take it how it kind of resonates. And I do actually feel that I feel that a lot of you will have been feeling that you needed to do whatever this was, like this initiating this new thing within you before even the virus occurred, because you did feel an emptiness to do with something. Like you just realised that you weren't kind of totally fully emotionally fulfilled in some kind of way. And for some reason, what's going off in the coronavirus on a very subconscious kind of level, it's kind of really making you realise that it's not this, because this is way too dramatic, and it really isn't this on you people. But if I can just give you kind of the most over-the-top metaphors, then you can get the vibe. But remember, it's a lot less than this. It's kind of making you realise what's important to you and what's not important to you. And it's also making you realise what it is that ultimately you really do want. There's something about that as well that kind of like this kind of thing has been triggering. And I feel like I feel as well like whatever this thing is that you've been kind of thinking about previously, maybe even a way to kind of change direction, or I don't know, it's a subtle thing. It's because you realise there's kind of so much joy and happiness and connection to be found off this new way of doing something. And it's almost like it's just going to allow you to feel more like you can be authentic, like you can express yourself like who you really are, that you can also be received in a way of like who you really are, be seen in that kind of light. And I suppose a little bit like one of the other parts, and I can't remember, but this makes sense to do with what me and the psychic witch were talking about on the video about coronavirus. It's kind of like for some reason on an unconscious, subconscious level, this coronavirus is starting you to make you aware of like what's kind of been in your imagination. And actually, I never actually said it like that before in the video with Teresa. I said it more as an illusion, becoming aware of illusions. But for you, this actual pile, yours is very much about, for some reason, I don't really know why I'm feeling it with this card as well. These cards are really, really just making me feel. And your spirit guides are saying, yeah, this is correct. That it's kind of really making you be aware of what it is that you want your life to be. Like what you envision your life being. Like what it is in your imagination that you want to create in your life. There's something about that that's just kind of really kind of getting stimulated for you on like a deeper level. And I'm getting this as well. Your guides are saying, for some reason, whatever is going off with the coronavirus, it's also helping you cut away all the crap in terms of how you see and feel about yourself and in your life. And I suppose that, once again, comes back to this kind of healing, purging kind of thing. Because for some reason, it's putting things in perspective, and it's putting things in perspective, and it's just making you realise. And I have to say it like this because it's the way it's coming through. It's just making you realise what you don't have, and therefore what it is that you do have. And it's also making you realise what is really important to you. And there is something about something that's kind of like feels destined to you, whether it's like a relationship or an area of your life or a business or a project. There's something that feels very destined to you, and it's making you for some reason really want to reach out and connect with that part of your destiny. And that's really on a deep and a very, very deep spiritual level what the coronavirus is actually triggering within you. I just want to pull another card just to get a little bit more insight. And obviously at the end we're going to pull a power animal card to see obviously for more guidance for you guys. But let's just see, is there something else that we need to bring out, spirit guides, to do with what's going on? Golden memories. Yeah, this is kind of what I was feeling to do with this, and I couldn't quite verbalize it, but this is it. It's something about something you've been exposed to in the past, whether it's a person or an idea or a situation. There's something about something that you've been exposed to in the past which now you're kind of having a yearning for and kind of a longing for. And the reason your spirit guides want you to know, the reason why you're having this longing and this urging is because it really is. It is kind of like a part of your destiny and your highest potential or highest purpose in some way. And obviously for all of you, it's going to be different in different ways. But that's why almost you've not been able to let go of whatever this is that you've been thinking about, whether it's the person or the situation or the idea or the dream of something, the vision of something that you had. You just cannot let go of that vision, because it is so much part of a destiny for you in some way. Like, I really like this. This is actually what Astrid said to me about something, actually as well, just after we'd done the video. And it was to do with something to do with me. And she was like, oh, the thing is, sometimes, she was like, you don't know why this is, but certain things you can never let go of them until they've come back into your life, to therefore either integrate themselves fully within your life or to just do the last thing that needed to happen, as in like, oh, this is the reason why they needed to come back, or this is the reason why I needed this situation to come back, or this is the reason why I had to go after that goal, that dream, whatever. Because sometimes it's because those things are going to stay in your life, and sometimes it's also just because there is something unresolved that's still left. But I kind of feel for you guys, it's not so much that something is unresolved, it's just that something, and I think this comes in through this card, the emptiness, is because there is something that is missing. It's like a missing link. There's a missing link for you guys to do with something, and that's why you can't let go of whatever it is. And for some reason, the coronavirus is just kind of re-stimulating that kind of real desire to reconnect with something, someone, an idea, a situation. But as well, by reconnecting, it's actually going to create a very different future. And I think this is why as well, I got in the beginning as well, like something is unfolding for you and you don't fully have all of the information yet. And I'm also wondering if for some of you, it's because you don't receive the rest of the information until you do this next step to do with whatever the reconnecting was with. And I know that's quite abstract, but please just take that and how it resonates to you and your personal situation. Obviously, if you want to go into that any more detail, you can get a private reading with me. But just let that settle and see how that goes. Because there's something really, really passionate. Something really, really passionate about whatever this thing or this person or this idea is that you want to reconnect with and you want to connect with. And it really is because there's like a soul pulling. It's kind of, I can see that either you and this person or you and this situation or you and this dream are kind of like a magnet to each other. And as much as you are wanting this, the other person is wanting this, or as much as you are wanting this like future life path, this situation is wanting you in this future life path. You know what I mean? Like whether it's a business idea or like a new way of doing something, I really don't know. It's different for all of you, but there's just such a big pull. And for some bizarre reason, your spirit guides are saying like, now is the perfect time to connect to whatever that thing is. Like the coronavirus is actually giving you an opening. But your guides are also saying, don't rush this. If this is truly right for you and this is truly something that you want to do, remember you can ask them for signs. You can ask them for signs and you can even tell them what you want the signs to be. There is no rush with this because a bit like the coronavirus, this is not going to be over quick. You know what I mean? There is still a way to go with some of these things because obviously if you look at the date that I'm recording it, you'll kind of get perspective of that then. So you don't need to rush with this, but it's just, I suppose, about being open to it and then just going off additional like omens within your reality and signs and stuff like that, because your spirit guides are absolutely saying that they're really open to give you that kind of insight and guidance if that is what you like. You just have to tell them. And for many of you say that can't see your spirit guides or don't hear them, just tell your mind, or whatever it is, just say in your head or say out loud, spirit guides, I want you to help me with whatever. Please give me signs. Please give me signs like this so I know what it is that you're communicating to me. And then just be open to see what your physical reality does. Just one other thing I do, you guys are saying it is really important for me to say, just because of these energies and even this one. Obviously, there's quite a lot of movement going on here. There's quite a lot of movement going on here. And we have also had this healing crisis and purging, which it says is in the present, although I also feel like it was a little bit in the past as well. Please just be really mindful that you don't get pulled into the drama and the chaos of what is going off in the media and stuff like that to do with the coronavirus, and just use some meditation. It really, really will help. And maybe use any time of self-isolation, or what I'm calling creating your own sacred space, to research useful things that are non-related to the coronavirus, which is something to do with either whatever it is that you have been feeling a pull to be drawn back into or reconnect with in some way. That's a wise way for you to use this time and energy, because ultimately on a deep level, the coronavirus is in a really bizarre way helping to highlight what it is that it is you really, really, really feel drawn to do and connect and be with. So yeah, take that how that resonates. Now let me just pull a power animal card. For some reason, before I even did this reading, my guides were like, because they'll often tell me which decks to use, and they said when you do these cards, actually read it out from the book, because there'll be important messages people will get from it. So let's see which power animal card you guys get on top. Wow, flip right out. Oh my god, I love this. This is my one of my favourite power animals anyway. So you guys get Wolf Spirit, Turn Knowledge into Wisdom. Right, let me just read this out when I can find the book. Oops, I don't know where I put the book. Oh, it's here. Cool. Oh my god, I just have to say this as well. There is something right in front of you as well that maybe you've been missing. Okay, just had to say that. Anyway, 1 second. Let's see. So, Wolf Spirit. Okay, turn knowledge into wisdom. Wolf Spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind and spirit? Whatever lessons you learnt along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams. See, this is it, man. I know it. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of wolf spirit is an auspicious omen. You see, omens, like asking to be given omens, being shown the signs is really important. Anyway, the appearance of wolf spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. I mean, this is the thing. Destiny, that's really came out to me right from the very beginning is key. Anyway, let's go on to protection message, just so you get the full perspective of everything on offer for you right now. It says, what is unknown is still yet to be discovered. I mean, no way. That's what we were saying about in the beginning, not having all of the information yet. When wolf spirit appears, you're being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning, or you don't have to know something. Be open, be humble, be teachable, and the world will open itself up like magic. Now is the time to look into the world with reverence and awe and a huge amount of curiosity. You will never grow old if you're willing to keep learning. Wolf spirit is waiting to be your mystical, loving guide. I love that. Oh my god, I just love the wolf. My wolf paranormal is epic and awesome. And for me personally, he's always related to relationships, because you have different paranormals related to different areas of your life. But anyway, cool. Hope you found that video useful, and please like and subscribe to my channel if you did. Like I say, check out the psychic reading, the video I did with the psychic witch all about coronavirus. I think you'll find that useful. I also have Instagram, Abigail Grace 2311. I've done a recent story to do with kind of coronavirus and Neptune and your birth chart, so I'll leave a little kind of, this is what it looks like, so you can find that in my Instagram if you want to know more, because it's a way for you to read your chart relevant to what's going off. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter, and if you'd like a reading with me, I'm just doing my website, so you can just email me on this address here. Cool. Other than that, I hope you found that useful, and that it just inspires you to go for whatever is this destiny thing that's calling you, because something is calling you destiny wise. But cool. I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, so this is for everybody that chose pile number 4, is holding the message of what your spirit guides want to tell you to do with everything to do with coronavirus, to do with you. So let's just have a little channel and see what we get with this. Okay, so what your spirit guides want you to know is that essentially, wait, just give me 1 minute because it's coming in. Whatever it is that you're experiencing and going through to do with this coronavirus, obviously when you're tapping into this video, you're going through like a huge shift in your consciousness. And what I mean by that is, I mean, it's literally like physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, like this is having a big impact on you. For some people, this will be like very consciously playing out in your lives, and for other people, it's just what it's doing to you subconsciously, unconsciously, and it's all to do with like upgrading your consciousness, to do with how you see yourself within the world and how you relate to the world. It's almost like I am feeling like, obviously I'm only on pile number 4 and I've got one more message to do, but you guys feel like you are going through the most transformation to do with this situation with the coronavirus. And your spirit guides want you to know that this is all about having, it's really important that you can do a thing of having detachment to do with what is going on with everything. Like I'm getting like more kind of feelings of people feeling more anxiety to do with people that have chosen this kind of pile. And I think for some of you, it's because it's bringing into question, it's just bringing into question things. I feel like this is just making you question so many things in your life, and just almost like how you see the world. This sounds quite intense, but I have to tell you that you guys can potentially have the most amount of transformation through this coronavirus situation. And your spirit guides are saying that, like, for some of you people, this is basically almost like it's like you're going through a Saturn return situation to do with this. Now, many of you are absolutely not in your Saturn return. You'll be in your Saturn return, like if you're in the ages between sort of like 28 and a half and 30. And then what would it be like? Oh, I don't know, like, and then 30 years after that. So I can't do the maths. So like around your, early 60s, end 50s. Those are the people that are going through the Saturn returns. But more than that, it's just about the feeling of what's going on. And it's kind of like any situations or thoughts that you've had that have been restricting and limiting in your life anyway are now going to be come into question and just going to be completely transformed through this whole kind of coronavirus thing. This is like your spirit guides want you to know that there's like a very delicate dance going off between what is happening in your physical reality and actually what is happening to you on that kind of energetic level. And I just keep seeing butterflies. I just keep seeing butterflies like lifting off from the ground. So it's not like you're going through a complete transformation in terms of you're not going from a chrysalis to a caterpillar to a butterfly. You've already done the chrysalis stage, you've already done the caterpillar stage, but now you're just going into the butterfly stage where you literally have come out of the chrysalis and now it's about using your wings to fly. And obviously that's very metaphorical. And I just feel like by the time this coronavirus has like come to its completion, and how it's obviously impacting our society. And let's say very much from the virus perspective. I'm not talking about from the economic perspective because I feel like that's a very different thing. But your spirit guides are saying like from the virus perspective, like you will be so much lighter. It's almost like, Pile 3 had this thing a little bit about healing crisis and purging, but yours is just more kind of like a complete and utter radical transformation. And this is like actually bringing in the energy for me of like, if you know into your astrology, it's things like Uranus, like what is happening to your Uranus in your birth chart currently, and also what is happening to what houses are ruled by Aquarius right now, because I just feel like this is almost kind of like that kind of, you're going to go through this radical transformation on so many levels, but the thing is it's going to completely and utterly bring you to this new space of being by the time that the coronavirus, as in the virus itself, is no longer really impacting humanity on like a biological level. You'll have gone through a complete and utter transformation. And the truth is this, and now this is like a Neptunian energy, which is, and I know an astrologer once said this to me, and this is what my spirit guides are saying, all your spirit guides are saying to them. The current situation that you're in, you don't quite have the overall solution right now, because the solution to this situation is one that you have once you have become a different person and you're on this way to becoming a different person. And that is happening through everything that you're experiencing to do with this coronavirus. Like this is like full on kind of like exploding you into a completely new way of being, to do with your life, to do with yourself. And your spirit guides just want you to know that you are being massively supported. Like I never got this on any other pile, and I am literally seeing like angels all the way around, like all the way around you. They're kind of like all the way around like my table right now, like, and I am not an angel person, that's just not really my thing. So you are being so supported with everything, and your spirit guides absolutely want you to know this, and they want you to know that whatever is occurring due to this coronavirus, you absolutely can handle this, and you will handle this, and you will completely thrive through this. But there is like, you have to trust in your own power and your own ability to handle any kind of situation. And I'm getting as well, like for this group, there's kind of a two split thing, right? So just feel into which one you are. One pile, this is kind of like one of the first things that you've really been through, which is really disrupting your physical reality, or it feels like it's disrupting your physical reality, whether that's to do with what it means to do with jobs, to do with health, to do with money, to do with what's going on in your family dynamics, to do with it, whatever. It's really shaking things up, and it's the first time this has kind of really happened. This kind of real chaos has come into your life and come in radically and quick and kind of all of a sudden. For the other pile of you, and this is still relevant to the pile of you that is what the ones we've just mentioned, but for the other pile of you, you know what, guys? You have been through so much chaos before in your life. You have been through so much chaos, and you totally understand how to work with chaos. This is something that you can leverage, that you can just know that you've been training for this. You've been training for this situation for a while, and you can absolutely handle everything that's coming up for sure. And in fact, actually life, because it's given you chaotic situations previously in your life has actually, for many of you, has done that in a precursor to this situation, so that you can then get the most out of this possible. And for a couple of you as well, as then the third pile, right? Because I feel like we're going through 3 stages of 3 different layers of souls within this pile, because it's so complex. The third layer of you, and feel if this isn't to you, is you are the guys that are actually going to come up with some radical maverick idea as a result of whatever transpires for you through this coronavirus. And that is epic, and it's awesome. I mean, I can just feel so much energy, and it's like I can feel it also coming out of my sacral chakra, to be honest with you. So it's kind of like super raw, potent, creative energy in some kind of way. And your spirit guides want you to know that this is a big part of what's going on for you with the coronavirus. Now, let's just pull some more cards before we get pulled away by the channeling. Let's see. So, wow, what do your guides... How does this one come? Yeah, like this. What do your guides want you to know do with the coronavirus? You see as well, this number 33 here on the card, on this one here, that is literally, for some of you this will be relevant. Google, if you feel called to, the numerology of 33, because that's really relevant to also what's going off for you guys right now and what's going on. And it just feels like a complete and utter shift in your consciousness, seeing things from a completely different way. It's like you're opening, your heart chakra is opening, your solar plexus chakra is stabilizing, and you're completely sort of becoming aware of... Oh, sorry, just blew something off there. You're completely becoming aware of a completely new way to express yourself. But first of all, you're having to go through this kind of, like I say, sort of radical transformation of just lifting off into a new part of you. Let's just see some of these. I'm actually really, really curious and excited to see what cards come out here, because obviously this just feels quite full on. So, this is a really important time for you. The Chariot in reverse. This is something where I feel like this pile, Father, King of Swords in reverse. I feel like this pile, 5 of Cups. Oh, wow, totally. This does not surprise me. We've got the wild card, the mystery card in your reading. Because I was literally just about to say as well, the people in this pile, you are the guys that are going to look back at this coronavirus situation, and you're going to realise how it was such a monumental moment in your life, to some kind of resulting huge epiphany to do with something which, when you look back in months and years, you realise it completely restructured who you were and what you are, and it was an epic starting point for something incredible within your life. So no matter what you are experiencing right now in the physical, know that it's doing this insane, and my guys are just literally showing me a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of thing. So we have here Seas of Polarity, Lyra. Ooh. Spiritual commitment. Oh, nice. Then we have the ligand. I think it's a ligand. Yeah, ligand. This is a really interesting crystal, I always think. And it's so funny that I was talking about my sacral chakra, right? Because this is kind of I always think of it as it's got masculine and feminine energy coming together. I always think about that. And then this one here says, true manifestations are powered by service and love. I just want to say instantly, your guides are like saying that for any of you that have Reiki attunements, absolutely use your own Reiki self-healing during this time period, just really to clear your energy. And if in any way you do end up feeling like you catch something to do with the virus, and I want to be specific here, your spirit guides are not saying that you're going to in any level, but what they're saying is your hands are really, really healing at the moment for yourself and others, and you can use that in whatever way that you wish to. Your guides are also just saying, just make sure that you tap into universal energy, tap into the core of the universe and tap into the core of the earth before you do any kind of healing to do with yourself or other people, just to make sure that you're using energy from the universe and the earth. You're not using the energy from your own source. It doesn't need to come from your own source. Channel it from the universe and channel it from the earth. That's something really, really specific, and that's quite obviously quite unique to some of you. Also, this is the other thing, some of you might find it useful because you're going through such a huge transformation, and we'll get into more about what this is in a minute. Because you guys are going through such a huge transformation, you might also find it useful to maybe have something like distance healing. So get a Reiki master who does some distance healing to give you a session in any kind of way. That could be something really, really powerful for you. Because actually as well, like, this is very much about transforming you on so many levels. So as well, just be mindful of this, right? And you might also find it really useful from the other video that I did with Astrid the Psychic Witch, because we talk about this. Very much the coronavirus, what any virus does, and my spirit guides have told me this for a very long time, viruses are the quickest way to wipe out old belief systems and implant new belief systems, okay? So if any of you start to feel that you do feel like you're getting, you're just not feeling too well or whatever, just know that this is what's happening to you on a deeper level. You're wiping out old belief systems to put in new belief systems, and that's at the core of what is going off. I also did a post on Instagram because I was like sick at the beginning of this year. And I've just done a post about the reasons why you can get sick and what it means on a deeper level. Because bear in mind as well, some of us are just going to get flu during this time period. And it's not the coronavirus, it is just flu. Because we're in that, depending on which part of the world that you're in, and I'm like in the UK, this is a time when lots of people can sometimes still get the flu. Particularly as well when we go to that changing point between winter and like spring, often people can get the flu. So whatever this is, if you do have something like that, just know that that's what's happening on a deeper level. And also, because you guys are going through such rapid transformation through this, you might find that your consciousness and your soul actually does decide to just, have something like the flu. I'm not saying the virus, that's different. You might even just have something a bit like a flu or the cold or something like that, just to help you quickly flush through a new belief system and get rid of an old. I suppose what I'm trying to say to you is anything that happens to your physical body right now is ultimately this really positive thing that's going to help you get where you need to go quicker. And just be mindful that you don't automatically think that it is this virus, okay? Because like I say, so many of us will just get the flu anyway, and it's not the virus, it's just because it's that time of year. But just know that your hands are super, super powerful for your own healing. One thing that I did actually when I wasn't well recently, at the beginning of this year, I would go to sleep with, basically everybody has chakras, 11th chakras in the palms of their hands, right? And everybody has them. Whether you are Reiki attuned or not, it makes no difference. We all have them. So I would literally just like visualize all of the energy coming out of the cosmos and the earth into the palms of my hands, and then I would place them on certain chakras while I slept, and I would just tell my guides to just get on and just do the rest while I slept, and it really, really helps. So your spirit guides are also saying that you have this ability. Your spirit guides are also saying that what they want you to know is you can also be doing this to do with your chakras at night, even if you feel totally 100% well, which obviously most of you completely will. It's more just because then you can do it to do with like changing energy within your body or how you're feeling about stuff or your thoughts. So just get creative with that. Get super, super creative with that. Also, you can always feel the energy between your palms of your hands anyway. And there'll be a point when you just feel it like the most. To me, it almost like feels, mine's about there right now. It just feels like a pulsing between one and the other. And I think there's something about you really becoming aware of almost what a spiritual being you are, is kind of also the feeling that I'm getting with all of this, and how you are so connected into everything. Because as well, one thing I can really feel like racing through my body is actually, and I didn't have this on any of the other piles, is actually like quite a lot of excitement energy. It's like quite a lot of excitement about about this huge transformation that ultimately that you're going to be going through. And I suppose very much like the world is going through like a big transformation to do with things, you are one of these souls as well that is also going through a big transformation to do with many things within your own life, seemingly non-related to the coronavirus, but ultimately that's sort of like a reflection, if that kind of makes sense. And I really, really see this because as well, you know what I said about the spiritual being, we've got the spiritual commitment thing here. It's like... And see, you know what, actually all of these here, because C's a polarity, and this crystal really reminds me of polarities, like a blending of masculine and feminine. I really just feel like this is like, just give me a minute because your guides are saying. This is really about you finding a place of like calm and centeredness when everything seems chaotic around you, but at the same time realize that that's what you're doing in your internal world. And in your internal world, you're doing this by actually you're working at balancing your masculine and feminine energy, and that is going to make you super powerful as a manifestor in your life. Again, as a manifestor in your life, once obviously you've done this balancing out. But I do feel like part of this coronavirus, your spirit guides want to tell you, is just reflecting to you this big transformation that, you know, globally, you know, countries and everything is going through. Like, you're very much a soul that is going through that within your own life, on your own journey, on your own spiritual path. And this really is kind of like almost going to be quite a big trigger and stimulation of it. And like I say, you'll look back in the future and realise, wow, I changed so much from this point onwards. And like in 5 years, whatever time, you'll be like, I have all of this that I have now because of the transformation that I went through then. With the Chariot in reversed, and also with these cards here, in fact, all of them. So with the Chariot in reversed here, with the King of Swords in reversed, and with the Five of Cups upright, you really have to be a master of what you are focusing on. This is so important. And funny enough, this Five of Cups energy, me and the psychic witch actually talked about this in the chat about the coronavirus from the psychic perspective. Just make sure that you are not focusing on all the things that are kind of not going right now. And admittedly, there are more things going not right now than going right. But the things that are going right, which is like these two cups up right here, just look how much more powerful they are than these three cups that are not going right. And there's something about you recognizing that within your own life that is super, super important. So like with all the other piles, what I did was I said, look, just feel into this and see if you can feel if this reading is mainly to do with a relationship or relationships, money, career, life purpose, creative projects, or something else obviously that we haven't mentioned. Because obviously all of you will be in this to do with like in a different place, in a different situation, and you just really want to feel into that. But it really is, you know, there's a totally another way of you looking at your current situation in your life, which actually is completely expansive. And like I say, I don't know why, but I just get such this vibe that like this whole kind of Aquarius energy is really strong for you guys in some way. And like I said, like you guys that are almost like the highest expression of this, you'll be like the people that become radical mavericks to do with something that really helps pull humanity forward in some kind of way. And you will do that on whatever community level that you're in, from like a home environment to a working environment to literally collectiveness, like the whole, you know, like somebody that's influencing the world in some type of way. And this is just such a powerful moment. It's such a powerful moment. And like I say, for you guys that have pulled this pile, I don't know what's going off in your birth chart right now, but totally things are really, really getting activated to help you go through this huge transition. But like I say, the number one thing your spirit guides want you to know is you absolutely have to make sure that you're focusing on the positive right now. It's really, really important. It's really, really important. And that is going to... that's going to allow you to kind of balance your own internal energy so much easier, and therefore it's going to allow you to sort of realise everything that's going on. That is, it's almost like your spirit guides are saying like the world is your oyster or the world will be your oyster as a result of going through this transition process during this time period. Your spirit guides, like I say, they just keep saying about how angels are massively supporting you and protecting you during this period. And also I'm getting this, that they're saying if you guys want some additional support, obviously we've talked about Reiki and distance healing from people, but it's stuff like, it's stuff like using, you guys for some reason are going to be really susceptible to essential oils right now, and I don't know why, but I'm being shown stuff like white angelica. That's like a really good essential oil for you to use, so you could always Google that if you feel called to. It's interesting. All of the other powers, it's like meditation is really important. What I actually feel for you guys is like your meditation needs to be a little bit more active based, because oh my god, I can just feel all of this energy in my body, like, which is obviously completely relating into you guys. And so doing something more like yoga as a meditative practice will actually really help you balance all of the energy that's going off within you to do with everything that's going off, because it's more of like a flowing, moving meditation. And also, your spirit guides say they'll do this for you anyway, but you can always do it more consciously. Whenever you're, say, doing something with yoga or stuff like that, your hand chakras, so the ones that we talked about in the palms of your hands, but also the chakras that are in the soles of your feet, will also be open and activating, and they will be helping to harmonize and kind of like make the energy within your body system more coherent during like this transformational time for you. So yeah, that's also something though that you could do within meditation as well if you wanted to. There's just something really, really useful and just really helpful for you guys about the energy coming out of and going into the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. And that's just something that'll be happening. If you're really sensitive like me, sometimes when I go through a massive change, even if sometimes it's just something monumental that happens to me in the day, I can literally feel like the soles of my feet, my chakras open up, and it kind of like, I can feel it like locking me down onto the earth, like it's kind of like sucking me down, but it's doing it in like a super grounding way. It's crazy. I don't know what it is, but obviously it definitely ultimately makes me feel more supported, and I feel safer, even though maybe crazy stuff is going on around me, because I literally feel like my feet are like magnetized to the earth, and it just feels like the earth is completely holding me. But at the same time, I can also feel, because I'm psychic, that energy that isn't in alignment with what's currently going off with me kind of comes out through the soles of my feet, and I can also feel like that's happening. So if you guys start to feel something like that, do not worry at all. It's just an amazing way for your body to kind of like release things that it no longer needs, while also receiving support from the earth. Because obviously we're all connected into the earth, whether we know it or not, energetically. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Avatar, if you've ever seen it. You know how there's that sacred tree where they kind of like all tap into to get extra healing and all of that kind of thing. Like you have that kind of vibe around you at the moment as well. So, I have a tree that I go to in meditation. It's in my sacred space, and I just know when I sit with my back to it, I suddenly just feel like I'm being grounded. I feel like all of my cells and biology start to calm down and relax, and then I actually start to get great insights. And that's the other thing that I really want to mention, that I really feel is coming through with this card, this kind of mystery card, is great insights are available to you during this time period, because almost of all the transitions that you're going through within yourself in some way. So it's kind of like, really just be open to radical insights that come out of nowhere, that almost appear like a complete download of an idea. There's something really important to pay attention to. And once again, that's something else that me and the Psychic Witch talked about in that video. I got a feeling something would be really useful for you guys about that video, because it seems to be coming up in this reading more than any of the other readings. I just as well, like, just wait a minute, let me just tune into this, because I feel like there's something else as well that we're kind of missing. Let me just pull an additional card. I do want to say as well, like most of this reading, definitely for the second half of it, like my throat chakra feels like it's like expanding and then contracting, expanding and then contracting, expanding and then contracting. And I do feel like there's something that is also going off for you guys to do with that, to do with like your fifth chakra. So if you are aware of energy or stuff like that, I think it's really useful to look on YouTube and just find some meditations to do with like balancing and harmonizing your throat chakra, because there's something about that that's really getting it's getting stimulated basically by everything that's occurring and everything that's going off. So let's just see what's the additional card. Forgiveness. I really don't know why, but before I did any of these readings, for some reason, my guides were giving me visions of this card. And it's interesting because I didn't really decide to particularly use that deck. And once again, that's just telling me that there's something really significant about what's going on for you guys to do with everything to do with the coronavirus. You know, I'm really drawn to this dragon. I don't know if you can see it here. And I think I'm really getting that it's not so much anything to do with forgiveness for you guys that's coming up, but it's more that, and I have mentioned it actually in some of my twin flame readings. So I don't know if some of you will also be being affected hugely by a relationship dynamic right now, and then that's adding into all of the craziness of also what's currently going off in collective consciousness to do with this virus thing. But I'm really getting that the cosmic diamond violet flame is something really useful for you guys to be using in meditation. Google it, cosmic diamond violet flame, and also maybe look on YouTube because there'll be guided meditations to do with it. Ultimately, what this energy flame does is it massively helps to transform karma, and just kind of like completely change somebody's energy field, like massively. And I used it so much, and it's funny because I mentioned this at the beginning of a reading. I used this so much when I was going through my Saturn return, and also when I was also at the same time having loads of things kicked off to do with my twin flame dynamic. This cosmic diamond violet flame was epically important for helping me to ground and stable and harmonize myself, even though things were very chaotic. So I'm really feeling like, and your spirit guides are literally just like, yes, your spirit guides are saying, look, if you want to do that, we'll help guide you to the best resources for that. And when you're using it, we will help you with how that works. So that's something that I think is really important, like really important. Like I say, you guys just have so much going off in terms of a transformation, and it is super powerful. It's super powerful. But like I say, just be mindful. And in fairness, this has come up with quite a few of the other piles. You just really need to be mindful that while collective consciousness is so hyped up, and quite a lot of people are worried and have got anxiety, and then the media and all of this kind of thing is blowing things into some crazy storm. Just be mindful that because you also have intensity going off in your own life anyway, that it doesn't also feed that part of you that's worried or anxious or that kind of thing. So I suppose having some healthy boundaries is going to be really useful. And I just, once again, I really feel it's useful to maybe for you guys to look at some... Oops, sorry, that just cut off there. But anyway, I was saying I think it'd be really useful for you guys to maybe look at getting some distance healing from somebody. Or if you are attuned to Reiki, then obviously using that on yourself too. But this is, I mean, it is really exciting. Anytime the mystery card comes out in a reading, I just know there's something magical on its way. Something totally magical. But you have to be mindful as well that quite often to go from one way of life to a completely other way of life, that's never just going to be straightforward. You know what I mean? It's never usually just going to be like a walk in the park. And really, you are kind of like on your own hero's journey in your own life right now. And I suppose very much like obviously humanity at the moment, or like collective consciousness, you know, collective consciousness as all as humans as a species are kind of going through some interesting dynamic collectively. And that's really just reflecting back what's also going off in your life too. But like I say, there's some really... Maybe Google up and read about Aquarius energy, because regardless of whether you're Aquarius or not, to be honest, that's non-relevant. It's more about this energy that you're going to start becoming more of, and it is the maverick, it is the innovator, it's the creative genius. I always think of it as like the Einstein energy, that kind of thing. And there's something really, I think, strong that's pulling me to do with that, to do with your reading. And also some of you will absolutely be having dragon dragon like power animal type things at the moment. You guys are just going through a huge transformation, and it will be awesome and it will be epic. But just remember that even if things feel intense, you are absolutely being supported 100%. You completely are, and it's all going to be so incredible on the other side. It's just one of those things. This is like helping you become your highest potential in some way, for sure. And to be honest, it's going to be doing it pretty quick and pretty radically. But because of that, obviously things can feel quite intense. But there is some incredible gift that's coming at the end. Incredible gift. Like, say, for example, for me, when I went through my Saturn return and this thing with my twin flame and all this shit happened all at once, this was also when I actually became psychic. So I went from not psychic at all to, like, suddenly, like, super psychic. And obviously at the time it was really difficult, and that did take me a bit of time to kind of be able to understand how to work with that. But like now, obviously it's absolutely friggin' epic, and I'm a psychic that receives things every which way, from like dreams to spirit guides to like I can do mediumship things, I can go past lives, future lives. I mean, my guys just tell me stuff that I've never even heard before, which then I find out is completely true. I can see people's energy colours. I mean, just my body speaks to me. I mean, it's like full on everywhere. And obviously at first that was totally challenging. Like, to go from 0 to that was like, what the fuck is going on? But obviously once I understood how to work with it, it's obviously absolutely epically awesome. I love it. And that's kind of like, I feel like a metaphor for kind of what's going off with you guys currently. So all I can say is stick with it. You're totally supported. Like, and I can feel like a cool breeze coming up my legs as I say that. You're so supported while you're going through this big transition. But just as much as you can, try and make sure that you don't also tap into any of this energy that's going off to do with, you know, the coronavirus type of things as much as you can. Be mindful of social media in terms of that, and like obviously the news, all of this kind of thing. Just be mindful of that. Because like I say, just because vibrationally, because you're going through such a transition within yourself, you're more likely to be sensitive to these other things going off around you. But like I say, I cannot tell you how, despite how challenging it was when I went through a situation like that, it has absolutely made me the person I am now. And I wouldn't change anything for that, because I was really not in a good place before I obviously awoken up to, I suppose, you know, like my spiritual abilities or my spiritual self or my soul, which is totally what you guys are kind of going through too, which is awesome. So to be honest with you guys, come back and tell me in however long, like, what your amazing, awesome gift is that's come through as a result of this awesome journey that you're on, because it's absolutely coming. But now let's just pull a card. My spirit guides told me I should read out from the book because it will help you guys additionally with something else. So let's just see your additional message and then I'll read it out for you. So, whale spirit, such a beautiful card. Trust the mystery. Right, let me just get the book. Okay. So it says here, trust the great mystery. Whale spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, and heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet. In the hidden realms where all things must gather first before manifesting into form, whale spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world from the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When whale spirit appears, it is a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand it. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart. Through intuition and through the peripheral senses, that part, the invisible veil separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and to trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by angels. Angels, you see, guys, I'm telling you, so many angels around you. Anyway, I'm going to read the protection message as well because I did for all cards so you get the full scope of what's available. It says here, certainty is not offered to you right now. You're being asked to trust the process of co-creation. Whale spirit reminds you that your primary reality is not that of the material world, but that of the realm of spirit, from which the essence of your dreams and desires takes shape before arriving as a specific form. You must trust absolutely that what will come will be for the highest good. Stay in your present moment awareness and allow the hidden realms to hold your intentions safely until it's time for them to manifest in the realm of form. Let go, for you will not be left behind. Some things take longer than others to arrive. I actually really think that's a really beautiful message. And one thing that was also really coming out for me when this was going off is that actually your Akashic records are being massively activated right now. Massively activating right now. So also, if some of you would like some Akashic record reading, I can totally do that, or obviously look for somebody that you feel like called to, but that could be super useful. You'll also probably find that you have abilities within the Akashic realm, and in all honesty, once you start working with the Cosmic Diamond Violet Flame, if you do, I swear that activated Akashic record stuff for me anyway. Just, I don't even know how or why, it just completely did, and I feel like that might be something similar for you guys too. The other thing, obviously, when this came up, I've got a post on Instagram about basically trusting the mystery, because this is something that, as a psychic, it's just something you sort of get. So I think that might be really useful for an additional message on top of that. So I'll leave a link for that. You can find me, obviously, on Instagram on Abigail Grace 2311. I post lots of different psychic things there. I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. You might find that useful too, just for kind of like... I don't know, just additional insights and resources while you're going through kind of this whole kind of spiritual upgrade and change and stuff like that. So you can check that out there. And if you would like a private reading from me in any way, cards, Akashic records, astrology, then just message me on this email, because I'm just doing my website now. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And all I can say is it's absolutely going to be epic. It's just going to be epic. And you're just going to be... You're going to have this amazing balanced energy field between your masculine and feminine energy, and that's just going to make you a really, really potent creator. And it's coming at like a really exciting point when lots of things are changing. So it's almost going to be supercharging your transformation, which is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. Also, guys, because I can tell that some of you guys probably are in a position where more support would be awesome in some way. So if you guys have a specific pick a card title that you would like me to do, that you think would be beneficial for where you're at, then please just leave a message below or email me. And if that feels like it's something that's going to be useful for lots of people, I'll totally do that for you, because I totally understand what it's like to be in this kind of situation with your soul, but it's so worth it. It totally is. So hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, this is for everybody that chose message number 5 as holding the information for what your spirit guides most want to tell you about, to do with the coronavirus and to do with you. So let's have a go at channeling into this. Let's see what we get. So what do your spirit guides most want you to know right now to do with it all? Okay, cool. Be interesting to see where this message goes, because instantly what I'm getting is this. That your spirit guides are like, I mean, you have absolutely got this. This isn't phasing you one single bit. You know what is what, and you know what you're going to do about it. So whatever is currently going off for you, what you think is happening, and what you think you need to do about it is what you need to do about it. And that's kind of like it. That almost feels like that would be the reading, but clearly not, because there's lots more. So let's see what comes out. But there's this kind of like, oh, I know. You guys are also really saying this, that actually you guys are really not fazed by chaos at all. I feel like many of you have actually been in very challenging situations in your life previously. And also I feel like lots of you have this like soul energy of being like a warrior. You have that kind of warrior vibe. And so to be honest, like you are kind of like the stable rocks within this situation, within collective consciousness. I also feel like for some of you pals, like you have gone through... you've kind of already gone through your like virus stage to do with whatever this is, like from a metaphysical level. And what I mean by that is you've already gone through some big transformation in your life where you've had to let go of loads of things, where money got disrupted, that also got followed maybe by a period of like isolation where you had to go into hermit mode while you reinvented yourself. Like you've already gone through this, and therefore you're kind of like you're like kind of like souls which are holding kind of like like beacons of light, while other souls then go through this process within their own lives. And so once again, all I can just see is like, I just kind of see like loads of like warriors basically, just totally loads of warriors. But like it's kind of like I'm seeing loads of warriors, but they're kind of like chilling out together, like back at their camp. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's worried, nobody's fussed, people are laughing, they're just getting on with it. And that's kind of like what your spirit guides are telling you about everything that's going off. So if ever you kind of start to feel into a moment of anxiety or fear to do with whatever is currently going off, I think you just need to just go back to that regrounding space of, wait a minute, I've had chaos in my life before. This is nothing new for me. The only thing that's potentially new is now loads of people are going through this all at the same time. But actually, this is not something that is destabilizing for me, because I've been through it when it's only been me or just me and a few others. Like, I understand what it means to be in chaos, and I understand how to work with that, and I ultimately have always come out well from chaos, and I will do that again. And yeah, and that will just completely center you back. So I think it's like, really, your spirit guides just want you to just almost acknowledge within yourself that, you know what, this is not a big deal for you, because you completely understand this kind of energy. You've got it, you know how to work with it, and it's really just about getting on with, I'm getting this, business as usual. And your spirit guides are saying that even if, let's say, you have a business and it's getting disrupted by it, or you have a routine and it's getting disrupted by it, still, like, your energy field is just like, yeah, this is business as usual. Like, I can handle this. This is nothing new. This is nothing I can't deal with. Been in these situations before. Even if it's not this exact situation, you've been in situations with intense, hardcore energy. It's kind of interesting because the last pile 4, a very small percentage of that group, I kind of described this kind of energy to, but they kind of more felt like the scientists. I can't really describe it to you. More like they have mentally had to go through lots of different things and use their mind to work things out. You guys feel like you've actually very physically been in chaotic situations and very physically had to sort things out. And so with everything that's going off with coronavirus, your spirit guides just want you to know that you just literally are almost like way showers for all the other souls on an energy level, whether you realize it or not. And they also just want to reassure you that ultimately what's happening right now is nothing that you cannot handle. No matter how it turns out, this is nothing you cannot handle. And your spirit guides also want you to know that you'll find something you will definitely find an opportunity that comes out of all of this, which actually ends up being just like a really awesome thing for you in some way. But anyway, let's just see what else we get, because that was quite a bit going off there. I'm getting as well, your spirit guides do want you to know that on a soul level, you guys might not even be aware of this physically, although some of you will, but like on a soul level, some of you can sometimes feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I don't know if you are people that always feel like you have to be very protective of other people in your life and stuff like that. And your spirit guides want you to know that actually, if you can use the what's going off with the coronavirus to help you reprogram how you view yourself as having to be a protector. But it's not so much the protector that's the difficulty. It's the feeling that you're carrying the burdens of other people in some kind of way like that. And I can feel it because my shoulders have just suddenly, like, they almost feel like they've gone into spasm. I really hate it when my spirit guides do this. I don't like them to use my body as a way to communicate to me, to do with other people. They can do it to do with me, but not with other people. But anyway, never mind. But anyway, just maybe that's something for you just to think about. And so also I feel like on a really soul level, you guys will be very, very compassionate to collective consciousness and to humanity in general. And I do think the one thing that you guys might find difficult about this is just you will sometimes be feeling the suffering of other people. But I think you just have to just try and just get yourself back into the zone again and realise that obviously you can't... people will unconsciously even look to you for strength, and therefore just know that that's really here what you're to do. You don't need to like feel into the suffering of others in any way like that, because that's not really what people are looking to you for. Because even though you guys are naturally healers, what you actually are more in this lifetime is very much like leaders. your leaders, and actually that's what people are looking for to do with everything else that's going on right now. So whether you have a business, or if it's just your family, or just in your friends, or just in your community, your spirit guides want you to know that you are the leaders within these situations, and like you are you are the warriors that have literally been in these situations over many lifetimes, including even this life. In certain situations, you know what to do, you're fully prepared, and it's just about going with that, basically. But let's just see. Do you know what? Oh my god, that makes my shoulders feel so much better already. And also my heart softened. So I do feel like, you know, just by getting rid of the fact that feeling like you have to take on the burdens of other people will not only take stress away from you and help you lead better, but it will also actually open your heart more, which then also will allow you to lead better. So it's kind of going to be a win-win. Let's just see. I feel as well, for some reason, you guys have 2 crystal cards. Don't know why. It's just a feeling. The other thing that you guys want to know is just make sure that you don't burn yourself out to do with whatever is currently going on, particularly to do with maybe burning yourself out with having to do things for other people, or if you guys have businesses or stuff like that. I know there'll be your spirit guides want you to know it's not about you doing more, it's just about you being super smart about what you do, and it's also about you kind of like foreseeing where something is going. And your spirit guides are saying the best way you can do that is you almost want to do thought experiments. So go into the situation of, right, well, if this was to happen, what would I do? Okay, and then get your plan and then work it out. And then, okay, so if this was to happen, what would I do? I'd do this and do that. And your spirit guides want you to know that you do need to do this, like mastermind this with other people. And you need to mastermind this with different people. You just want to mastermind this with different people with slightly different perspectives, because that will give you a more holistic approach about how to go about stuff. It's kind of strategizing. I really, really feel this thing. It's like about strategizing is what's currently going off, or what your spirit guides want you to most know about what's currently going off to do with coronavirus, to do with you. Let's just pull another one. I do really feel though that you guys can ultimately be a very calming influence within this, but I also, your spirit guides want you to know that it's okay if sometimes you feel a bit like overwhelmed by it. It's totally normal, it's natural. Just give yourself a little bit of a moment, just allow yourself to discharge it by fully just acknowledging how you feel about something, and then you'll be able to get back in the zone again. Just your spirit guides want you to know this one thing: just don't do something about suppressing how you're feeling or thinking about something. There is absolutely somebody in your physical reality, and for some people there's more than one person in your physical reality who can absolutely truly express how you're feeling about something, and they can hold space for you to do that without them getting anxiety or anything like that. You do have somebody in your life like that. Even if maybe you've not spoken to them a while or whatever it might be, or even if you speak to them a lot, there's totally somebody in your reality that can do that, and they're totally open and ready for you to be doing that, basically. So that's just a message. Take it how it resonates with you. Oh, I like this. It says, I feel my way into faith one step at a time. This for me is just reinforcing what we're saying about strategizing. It's just really important that you have a strategy that takes you from one situation to another situation, one scenario to another scenario. I'm also really feeling, and I did feel this anyway, but I thought, oh man, you guys will think it's weird if I say this, but it's coming up again, so I'm just going to say it. I do really feel like some of you, it would be really useful that you do speak to a psychic or something like that, so you have like a proper one-on-one reading. Obviously you can do that with me or another psychic, or even some of you, I already know I've got psychics in your reality that you can chat to, because there'll also be somebody that will help you go through the different situations and scenarios to do with whatever is going off and how coronavirus is affecting you, and they will also be able to help you further refine your strategic plans for whatever might be happening. So just obviously take that how it resonates. Also, I did actually say this for one other pile, and I can't remember which one it was, but I just know certain people in my life are like oracles, so I know that I can ask them stuff, and it's almost like I'm going to a psychic. They'll just know what is really important for me to know. I had that with friends, I had that with an acupuncturist, so bearing in mind this might not actually be a psychic, although it could be. It could also be somebody else in your life who you just know just really knows your soul. They'll be a great sounding board and help you go through different situations, scenarios and strategies. So yeah, just know that. So we have still waters. So that's 8 of water. The star card. This one actually, it doesn't matter which way it is, reversed or not, so we're going to put it that way. We have the 6 of earth, beauty. That is the plan. This is the strategy. This is the plans. I just know instantly. Oh, nice. And you have 1 of fire. It was in reverse, but I wanted to flip it, so I feel like those two both go like that. And then here we have, oh, turquoise. I love turquoise. It says here, speak your truth. By the way, some of you have also actually got, this might be the warrior vibe that I was getting from like particularly past lives. You guys have absolutely been warriors from like a Native American kind of like tribal situation. Like categorically you have been. And that guide is really with you during this time period and really supporting you in that way. And also that guide also is part of a group of guides, almost like it's part of its own like Native American tribe, and that tribe is also feeding in and supporting you to do with everything that's currently going off right now. It's interesting, Pile 4 had real angels that were around them. You guys have literally really got these very specific Native American spirit guides that are around you to do with everything that's going off. Oh, nice. And you have amethyst. Get drunk on your highest self. For me, that's just support on the spiritual realms. Like, you've got it a lot, just like actually pile number 4. But like I say, yours is very different sort of spiritual help. Yours is obviously more like these spirit guides, Native American. It's got this kind of warrior tribe. It's got the strategizing. It's got a vibe as well of like and your spirit guides are saying this is really important. Like, it's really important that you listen to the signs and you listen to the omens with everything that's currently going off to do with your life right now, because I do really feel like your reality is really trying to communicate with you quite a lot. And what I mean by that is actually from the spiritual realms, whether you're aware of it or not. And for many of you, you will be very practical and you will be very grounded. So it's not even a case of you'll necessarily be like me and you'll literally see and hear your spirit guides say stuff, but your spirit guides will be absolutely influencing your unconscious mind, giving you the ideas, giving the suggestions, giving you kind of the solutions of how to move forward, and then also helping to interact with your physical reality to open up options and synchronicities and signs and stuff like that. So just be mindful it can be working on that way, because you don't always have to be like somebody that's just really aware of all of this energy, spiritual stuff, for it to still be massively having a huge impact in your life. And I do really kind of feel like people that have pulled at this pile, you've always kind of had this kind of like huge spiritual kind of like support and guidance. And I'm also getting that it's also really got you out of some really chaotic, tricky situations in the past. And I got this other feeling, sorry, it's all coming in. I feel like I can't get the words out quick enough. Just 1 second. And actually what I've just done there, just taking a breath and calming it down, I feel like that was the thing we were talking about earlier, that if you do start to get overwhelmed, it's just like taking a moment just to like reset yourself and then go again. Anyway, I'm also really getting that I feel like a lot of you people that chose this path have kind of always kind of felt very spiritual, and you've always really kind of felt really connected into that kind of spiritual realm, and that it does support you. And I do feel like you've always had an intrigue in that space. And I feel the reason why you've always had that intrigue in that space is quite literally because you do have such a huge spiritual support system. Like massive. Like absolutely huge. I mean, like once again, I don't know why, but I just keep seeing like, I don't know, like an army of like spirit guides. Just so many of them. Anyway, what I did also want to say was, I do really feel like currently right now you have this really great connection link as well between the spiritual and the physical, and for some reason I feel like that as well with the gate. There is like this really great space. So just like I say, pay attention to all the signs, pay attention to the omens, pay attention to your dreams. Like I say, maybe go and have a psychic reading, or make sure you chat to the people that you know are kind of like oracles in your life and can help connect you to that deeper part of yourself in some way. That's going to be really, really important, particularly because I do really feel like the strategizing is really important to do with what's going off with the coronavirus, because I know it won't unnerve you guys if I do say this. Obviously, with what is currently going off in collective consciousness, with how this virus is currently playing out in the media, in the world, and really I'm sure you guys will really understand this. the bigger impact it's ultimately going to have on an economic level. Like, it is really important to be getting clear about what to do, to be creating different strategic plans depending on what plays out. And I'm getting tingles on that. I know it's so important. And I do just want to say, I really appreciate the fact that I can say this kind of thing to you guys and you can hold space for that and it doesn't freak you out. But that is also because I do know that you're part of this kind of like warrior tribe. Anyway, so, but also you guys are kind of saying that the more that you look at making strategies and plans, the more that your spirit guides can influence your unconscious, etc., to help you refine that plan and refine that plan. And it's also really just important to pay real attention to rapid insights that come in to do with stuff. To be honest, this makes me feel like this as well. So, you know, if you get intuitive hunches, and I actually feel like you guys are really good at this. I think intuitive hunches in the past have really got you out of tricky situations. So I think you understand to pay attention to them and to respect them. And obviously that's going off a lot right now because it's all guiding to help to get you in a good position. And also I feel like quite a lot of you, because you have this leader vibe, there is for some reason, in whatever way, lots of souls that do look to you for security of some kind. Whether that's you have a certain family and the family members look up to you in that way, like your habits work look up to you that way. Maybe you're quite influential with your friends, or you're influential on some other kind of like platform or I don't know, community in some way. So yeah, I just really feel that you just have additional support right now from those spirit realms because of everything that is going off, which I do really think is awesome. And I just get such a big Native American guide, like vibe. And I also really am getting, obviously we're going to pull a power animal card because that's more like the message, but I'm really, really seeing that also you guys have like a bear power animal. I'm seeing two things actually. Some of you have a bear power animal and some of you have a gorilla power animal. And I know this sounds really weird, but I feel like the people here that are more masculine energy, you have a bear power animal. The people here that are more feminine energy, you actually have a gorilla power animal. But those power animals are kind of like your warrior power animals. And they are the ones that really help you get through intensity. And so they're really beside you right now with everything that's going off. And they're actually a really great source of like comfort and security to you on an unconscious level, whether you're kind of like aware of it or not, which is super cool. I really, really love that. There is also something else that's really coming through that I do want to say, and that is that I don't know if you can see here, there's like a star here. If you can see that, maybe. Yeah, there's a star here. There is also another star here. And then this here is like lots and lots and lots of stars inside a triangle. And I don't know what this is, because actually I don't think that this is available to you right now, because also one of the things that the astrology is affecting, and the virus is how the astrology is also relating into the virus, and I also do this on the video with the psychic witch, which you might find useful, to do with coronavirus. And actually there is quite a bit of stuff to do with business, and I do sort of get a businessy type of vibe from you kind of people from this card, and obviously not all of you, but some of you. Neptune basically rules things like viruses, right? So whenever there's a virus that's whipping around the world, all of us astrologers and psychics know that Neptune is definitely having an influence with this. Now, the really interesting thing about Neptune is that it holds this space of like a mystery that you can't yet know the answer to, but will be revealed to you. And when it's revealed to you, it almost comes with massive riches, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like more like a metaphor and a story to do with it. But I suppose what I'm trying to say to you is just be open to the fact that there is something that you do not yet know, but will become clearer to you over time, which will in some way bring great riches into your life. And these riches, my spirit guides are saying, for some of you this will be wealth, for some of you this will be love that you've never had in a certain way before. Some of you it will be like, I don't know, it's going to be something incredibly fulfilling. And so just be open to realising that whatever is currently going off right now with the situation, it's actually working on you on a much more deeper spiritual level to get you in alignment, to almost like a wish fulfilled. And like I say, for some of you, this is going to be a relationship. For some of you, this is going to be a money thing. For some of you, a business thing. For some of you, a life purpose thing. For some of you, a creative project thing. But there is this thing that's coming through. And my guides on this one, sorry, but my guides are really saying this, that my guides are really saying that your guides have said that, just one second, because it gets lost in translation. 1 minute, because this is really cool. Wait, and that's why I've lost it, because it's exciting. 1 sec. Oh no, it's totally gone. You know why? It's because it's on totally like the very edge fringes of all of your consciousnesses. So it's like so not even consciously available yet, but it's so close to being available. Just 1 minute. It's something about this wish fulfillment. Oh yeah, here we go, got it. So my guides are saying that your guides are saying, because of the intense energy that's currently going off right now, because you guys have the ability to be very strong and stable within this space, just because you've been through many situations like this before, there's actually a huge amount of energy being generated by the collective consciousness. So for some people, this is going to play out as huge amounts of anxiety, right? But for other people, and you as this group, you are this group, you have the ability to tap into this huge amount of energy and use it and ground it in a practical way. And there's something about doing it in that kind of way which allows you to bring a wish fulfillment into physical reality in some way. But obviously it will take time. This is not like an instant manifestation, but I know that you guys get that, so you know, I don't freak you out when I say that. But just understand that that's also unfolding here to do with the coronavirus, to do with you on a spiritual level. It's actually giving you an opportunity to tap into, it's giving you an opportunity to be around when there's this huge amount of energy, and then it's just up to you what you do with it, and that really is a choice. And I do really feel like as well, that is very much this card here, the beauty card. It's like creating something beautiful out of chaos. It's creating something beautiful out of chaos, and it's going to work on many different ways. And I just kind of really feel like it's creating something in your life new that you've never really experienced in that way before. So if you've never really had amazing relationships, it might be something like that. If you've never really had something that gave you a lot of money that you enjoyed, it might be that. If you've never really understood what a creative project was you wanted to do, it could be something to do with that. It's definitely something that's been a wish. It's about a wish that has not yet been fulfilled. But you've had that intention and you have put it out into reality, and now this is part of the process. And I do have this feeling like it's kind of like something that's been building over like the last year, 18 months, something like that. But anyway, I just want to pull just a couple more cards just because I do. And I did for the other piles, so let's just see. I want to choose this one. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to choose one of these. Oh wow, that flipped right out. Emergence. Nice. That just makes me think about this wish fulfillment again. It's emerging, but it's still in that creative process. It's still in that creative process. Do you love that card? And now I'm just going to pull, two of these. See if there's anything else additionally that you guys need to be mindful of or aware of, or what your spirit guides want to say. It's really cool actually, because all the piles really did feel very different, and you guys definitely feel very different. Being the mentors, no friggin' way. What was I saying, guys, about like you being the leaders, about being the way showers? I mean, totally. Let's just see what this one says. The power of sound. Okay, this one's interesting. Power of sound. This just makes me think as well that you know what, guys, even if you don't really have the time to like meditate or whatever, I just think just having some really relaxing music on while maybe you're working or when you come home or just before you go to bed could be incredibly healing. Some things that I know are really, really good is things like esophageal frequencies. I'll leave links for these below. Esophageal frequencies, which like tune into certain chakras. There's this other really cool Arterian thing. I'm not sure. I'll leave the links. And also crystal bowls and gongs can be really, really awesome. I feel like particularly crystal bowls for you guys might be really, really relaxing. And like I say, you don't have to make this a big deal, like sitting down, legs crossed, listening to some spiritual music. You can just have something on, like while you, I don't know, are just chilling out, doing something on the laptop. Because there's something about using sound in a really, I I'm going to use these words. I don't know why I don't ever say it, but my guides are saying you need to say it in a really spiritually advanced way that will just help you with this current situation that's going off. But I do really feel like that is awesome. And I'm really excited to know ultimately what this is, what this wish fulfillment ends up coming through for you. But like I say, this will just take a little bit of time. But this is part of the process of it all. It's totally part of the process of it all. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to pull another card. Oh, wow, straight away. You see, you know what? All your cards are sort of flipping out. Something's really on point here. I just also, you guys are really saying, look, you know what you need to do. You can do this. It's just not even slightly a problem, to be honest with you. Anyway, this is what you get. You get Horse Spirit, Freedom is Yours. Interestingly, this number's 33 and this number's 44. I always think there's something, oh no, wait, and this number is 77. There's something about when numbers appear in doubles that I just always know you need to pay attention to. So I don't know, I don't know what they might mean for you. 33, 44 and 77. Don't know, they just seem really powerful in some way. This makes me think as well that some of you have got a life path 4, some of you have got a life path 3, some of you have got a life path 7, and actually your life path is really getting activated by everything that's currently going off to do with the coronavirus in some way. So if you don't know your life purpose number, then totally go and check that out, because it will probably be one of those, I might imagine. Anyway, let me just read in this, see what it says for Horse Spirit, Freedom is Yours, 33. Okay. So it says here, Horse Spirit, Freedom is Yours. When Horse Spirit appears, you are gifted with the spirit of movement and freedom. It is time for travel and adventure, whether that means a trip somewhere or taking a different type of journey, one of freedom of choice. Horse Spirit reminds you that no matter the circumstances, you have free will and choices that can take you far away to a better place, a better situation, a better state of being. For there is no one but you to rein in your will to make a different decision. You are capable of making powerful choices that will affect you for a long time to come. I mean, guys, I totally feel that. And that's why the strategy is so key. Anyway, it says here, horses are sociable animals and known to be a friend to mankind, willing to carry us forward when we need it. Horse Spirit reminds you that help will be available to you whenever you need it, and companions will be by your side whenever you choose, whatever direction you choose to travel. Life is an adventure, and Horse Spirit wants you to know that whatever choices you make, you have great spirit within, invisible, yet holding you up and always working by your side. I love that, and that's totally what I was feeling with, obviously, like your bear power animal or your gorilla power animal, and also with your Native American spirit guides. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you can set your heart free to experience love in all forms. Spirit whispers to you that the gift of freedom is yours if you allow yourself to break out of your perfectionism and stubbornness. I do feel stubbornness might be something you guys have, by the way. So just see how that resonates also. Make a move and enjoy the freedom of letting go of the need to control. Totally. I really get that. Now I'm also going to read the protection message, because I did for the other ones, and it just gives a more holistic view of everything. It says here, are you feeling stuck? Has your spirit been broken by challenges you have faced? Your current choices may not seem best, but you are not seeing the clearing ahead where you can break free and run. Whatever your choices right now, they can lead you to exhilarating freedom. So trust the guidance of Spirit. Horse Spirit is here to tell you that adventure calls, and you will soon realise your power is greater than you think. Perhaps your frustration and feelings of being fenced in are the result of being too much on your high horse, unwilling to come down to earth and join the herd that wants to support you. Being in control and in charge can be overrated. It's time to loosen up, drop the reins, let go, and prance with others just for the fun of it. I really, really love that, and I do actually really, really feel that as a really good essence of the energy of you guys, that whole what I've read there. So see how that plays out for you there. Cool, but obviously this is great. You guys feel reassuring, that's for sure, totally reassuring, and obviously reassurance is great when things like this are going off. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope you found things that resonated with you, things that you consider, things that you can take from it, and things that you can actually apply. If you like this reading, please like and subscribe to my channel. I also have an Instagram, Abigail Grace 2311. You might find that useful there. I post lots of psychic stuff. I've also got an actual Insta story, and it looks like this. It's under the astrology tag, which just goes through Neptune to do with your birth chart, which I do think is relevant because it's something my spirit guides told me about what was currently going off with this virus and how it impacts us. So you might find that useful. Also think about the video with the psychic witch, where we talk about all the psychic stuff to do with coronavirus. I think you'll also find that useful. I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, post lots of different things off there. That will probably be useful for you at some point. And if you would like a reading from me or anything like that, I'm just doing my website, so you can contact me on this email and we can get something sorted. But basically, other than that, this is all awesome. And you guys totally know what you're doing, and you are just like a completely reassuring energy in physical reality right now for just so many people, and people that you don't even realize find you reassuring, which is, I mean, that's a huge gift. It's a huge gift. So thanks so much for doing that, because that's awesome, because we all need that. It's cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this reading. Take care. Bye.